says we are live. There we go. Now that will take a couple of seconds. Hey. We're live, by the way, Chris. I know you're just getting yourself settled in, but we're live already.
Do not swear.
Yeah, so you can stop talking about that person. No, he wasn't.
Constantly.
He constantly.
Getting in the sound.
Right. Hi, everyone. I thought we'd do something different this week. We'll just go straight into the show with just us chatting away.
Not getting any sound for some reason.
Oh, I can hear you.
Can hear you.
You're good.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Do what I did last time. Reboot.
Get some Q-tips and pop out the wax out of your ears.
Okay, that's why.
Oh, how is everyone? Sorry about last week.
Good.
I had a wedding anniversary. So it was either I keep the testicles on or I get them chopped off. So
dear. That's elegantly put.
I opted to keep
them. We completely understand. Having also just had a wedding anniversary and saying to Jane, "What do you want to do today, love?"
Yeah, it is. It's really one-sided, isn't it? It seriously is one-sided. Like, yeah. So, what did you get me? What did you get me? Nothing. Okay, then why are you asking me?
Well, I always used to buy Jane just a little chocolate, and she doesn't. Now she's diabetic; she doesn't eat chocolate. So I was looking for some diabetic chocolate, which I couldn't find anywhere. So the only thing I could think to actually buy her was a fridge magnet. Oh. So I bought
a synth one,
which she quite liked. And actually, so I bought Jane a fridge magnet for my wedding anniversary, and she didn't buy me anything.
Yeah, aren't you gifts enough for each other? Come on.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The love is in the air. So officially we are live and everyone's here. I might just roll the stinger just to sort of, it only goes for a couple of seconds. There we go. Hi everyone, welcome to Synth Geekery episode 222, if you like triple digits. So, numerology. Someone will probably think that's a cool thing. I don't know. I don't really care. There's probably a synth-related thing, and I haven't even bothered to check. Someone will probably tell me, and they'll probably be throwing their synths at the screen, and I'll be cheering. I think it's about time we did a show where we did not set a topic. I did ask if people had a topic for this week, and there were a few ideas that came, and I thought, let's just not set a topic. Let's just see where it takes us. Let's see what happens. Because I think sometimes they're the coolest shows where we've just sparked off a conversation about whatever, and it's taken us on. We always go on tangents anyway, but it's taken us on a cool tangent. So I think that's going to be the topic for today. So that means that you're going to have to stick around to find out what the hell we're going to be talking about. pretty clever, wasn't that? Hey, couple of things. StreamYard link is up the top of the chat already, so you guys should be able to see that there. If not, it is one of these buttons here. I forget which one it is. I always press the wrong one. Hey, I got the right one. So join us on StreamYard. No one's in there at the moment. Don't know why. No one loves me. But there are a number of people on the stream, so not sure. But do join us on StreamYard. There's another 4 or 5 spots in there that you can squeeze yourself into. I think it's going to be a good show for conversation anyway. So even if you don't want to show your face, you can have just have your camera muted and you can just use your voice. So we're completely fine with that. If you're still in your PJs, maybe. I'm not sure. I could still be in my PJs. No one would actually know what time of the day it is here.
You don't have to wear pants if you don't want to. So.
Yeah. Literally like the newsreaders, right? They wear the suit and tie up the top and they just wear their boxer shorts underneath or anything else. Let's not even go there. Right. Okay, so there's been some cool things been going on off the scenes during the last 2 weeks. There's probably a lot to sort of digest, I guess. But I reckon one of the best things that's happened in the last week or just in the last day is this guy right here has done a live set. Darren, done a live set, mate.
Aye, I did.
How's your week been? I wanted to question that one.
Well, the week was a bit fraught. Few issues. The end of the week was good. And yeah, I appeared at Blackpool for just to try out a bit of kit and see whether it worked. And it seemed to work. People seemed to like it, so that was good.
It was brilliant.
Considering I only mixed it up.
Absolutely brilliant.
Considering I only mixed it on my headphones, I hadn't got a clue what it's going to sound like. I had a few issues before. I definitely needed in-ears, Ian. Other people didn't. I did, because for the way I was working, I just needed to like drown out any noise that was coming back at me. So I just had to have the in-ears in. But other than that, as you see, Jamie's setup is just immense. And it was good. It was
Darren
good.
and your Akai Force.
Yes.
Yeah.
You dark horse.
Which I have been dropping hints for a while, but no one's noticed.
No, your hints were
Which
terrible.
I can't believe. Yeah, I know, but they were only subtle hints. They were subtle hints. And I thought, well, I won't. If no one twigs, I'll just leave it and see how it says until I put it up on Facebook and you can see the setup. Now, I didn't take the whole setup because the setup I had, the rig that I'd got was for probably about an hour plus. So to whittle it down to, 15 minutes, although we were on longer, because unfortunately for those people who couldn't make it, because the traffic was absolutely diabolical. The roads were closed, so there's quite a few that couldn't make it, unfortunately, which was sad. But in a way, it meant the people who managed to get there just had a bit longer playing. So we had a lot of great. Can we call them artists? Of course we can. Artists, slamming their sets. And it was, even Rave, thumbs up from Rave. So even though he did crash a car, it's.
He's drunk on Parma violence. Is that the?
Yeah, he's.
So Darren, how was it meeting
you-
some people that obviously you knew who they were, but you would have met them for the first time, right? How was that?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I did go to the Emon before, but I wasn't playing. I was just there just to, check it out and see how it'd work. So yeah, I met a lot of great people. I think some of them are in the chat now. I'd have to go for it, but I know Simon's in the chat. Who else is in there? Can't see. But yeah, I've met great guys. Everyone was great. So, like I say, all the sets it was all good basically.
Jamie
Everyone
was running
did
it,
a great job.
Jamie ran it, didn't he?
Yeah, Jamie run it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he runs it all the time. With the lighting effects, the
Simon
streaming.
had a great set too.
We have to
great.
get Jamie back
They're
on
all
the show.
great,
We
I'm
haven't
not-
had him for ages, like a couple of years.
Yeah,
probably.
he does a lot of hard work because he's there setting up early
He does.
to get it all
Yeah.
right, and then he's finishing late. I think we left. I'm not sure. I was on for about 1:45 in the morning, so he was probably still at it. I think he leaves some of the gear there, but yeah, he sets it up, and it's a great night, really. And everyone was, like I say, slamming the sets and showing what they can do, or all the styles was varied as well, so there wasn't anything that was a bit cringe. It's all, it was just all good. That's
Now
all I
there
can
is
say.
a link to the show, so you can actually go back and watch it. So, Darren, when you get a chance after
Please
you've
do,
finished chatting about it, maybe you could post that into the chat so that anyone who's going, I'd like to see it, they can go and watch it later.
I don't know if I can do it on my iPad. It's a bit of a pain.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Andy, you can.
I'll
dig
find
that
the
one
link.
up for
I'll
us.
put it
Yeah.
in.
I think it's off the.
It's a bit of a pain on the iPad.
Isn't off Jamie's. It's off Jamie's.
Yeah, GeoSynth.
He's
It's
supposed
on the
to do
GeoSynth.
later, but I'll post the whole show.
Yeah, he does put, like Andy says, he just posts the individual artists up later through the week, I think. So if you want to check any of them out, great, have a good watch of that. But before you go off me, there's something Ian might not like. I've not had any money, but I had one little bit to spend to get this.
Yay!
Well, wait till you come to me because I have got something to say about that.
Well,
right.
there's a bug in it. There's a massive bug in it
Yes.
right now. A MIDI bug.
What I'm gonna say is the only reason I got it is because I don't expect it to sound anything like the Pro. and I'm not bothered if it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's quite cheap.
No, it doesn't.
It's quite cheap, and it just gives me that little bit. Originally, I was going to take it live, but if you noticed if you do watch the set, I've taken some of that off because complex of working that, and with it being a short set, there's not going to be no need. So that's the main reason. But
we still can't get them.
I knew he
in
ended
our
up.
country.
You can't get them. All right.
Nope, still can't get them. I think December was when I got told. I was told October originally, but December is when I got told that it's most likely to happen here.
And the other thing, quick. Last week's video, I was playing with. Oh, can I get this up? I was playing with the patch bay. You know the patch bay I showed you the other week.
Oh yeah.
That patch bay. Well, that's what I was creating with the Battle Part 2, like the patch bay.
Ooh.
Great, actually. It's brilliant for switching my pedals around, creating lots of different vibes, atmospheres, whatever you want to do. It's great little box. So I'm quite happy with that.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's been my week. And now I've got to get on with Rave Day's album because he's upset that I haven't been spending any time on it. But you did hear a glimpse of it right at the beginning of the set.
Oh yeah,
live set.
yes,
Yeah. He
I
swore.
certainly heard him.
He did.
He was a
he cracked
potty
the can.
mouth purple one.
He is.
But,
Yeah.
well, that is just a little glimpse of one of the secret tracks and a track called The Chase on his second album. So I thought I'd throw that in at the beginning of the live set. So all you YouTubers and people
to
who
be
know,
fair, Darren's set was so
Rave
good.
Day.
Jamie was swearing too. So
Yeah, it's true.
No.
For different reasons.
Yeah, that was a good reaction actually from Jamie.
So, well, that's a glimpse of Rave Dave anyway, because like I say, the people are there I don't think understood, but I knew a lot of other people would. They
What
probably
we might,
thought,
Jamie's
what?
comment
what
was,
we might
"Holy
do,
shit
and
balls."
I'm sure Jamie won't mind if I show it. I might show a little bit of that, just so we can see your set, how you're set up, and then I think Darren, if you're okay, I can also share that photo that you shared on Facebook as well of your
You can
rig.
share anything. I don't mind. I'm not bothered. You can show whatever you want. And even the first little bit with Rave Dave on, I can't see that. He won't mind Jamie anyway. He was.
Yeah, pretty cool.
He was just glad that quite a lot of people make it, because when we first got there, I mean, we were late getting there. I think there was only 4, and he was getting. I won't say he would, but he was saying, no, it looks like there's only going to be 4 playing. So we've all been playing something like an hour each, but a few more managed to make it. So it made the night then.
Well,
it'd been good anyway, but
maybe let's show the photos now, because it's topical, right? We're right in the middle of talking about it.
Yeah.
So what I'll do first is I'll show
Go for it, Rance.
I'll show the photo of Darren actually playing live. So I'll just overlay that over Darren. There it is. There's a photo of him with his setup, and that's actually playing live. I think that photo was taken by
that Dave I think,
Walker.
MHO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks, Dave, for doing that. And this is Darren's. This is his setup. So if you guys want to study that, that's his rig setup there. So then we all discovered that he had a Force when he posted that on Facebook.
Yes.
And I'm like,
What?
what?
I didn't know it. I didn't know until I saw the actual show. So that was a nice surprise.
Well-
I thought, oh, he's using a Force? And I looked at the price and went, ooh, you've been spending money.
That was
Well
my
spent,
birthday present. I've been saving up for a long time.
it's
they're not
that took
well
a long time
spent.
to
They're
get
not
that.
cheap. They're not cheap. Well done, mate.
I must admit, if you can see the bottom there, that MIDI fighter is absolutely amazing. I've had it for a while, and the only reason I could use it for really was something live, really.
Yeah, that's what you actually
That
got it
MIDI
for
fighter
originally,
in the
wasn't
bottom.
it? Yeah.
Originally, yeah. So that
Yeah.
MIDI fighter is just perfect.
You got the APC, not the APC. What's that?
The MP, was it 28 or something? The pad one for
The pad
drums,
one.
Can't remember the number
Yeah.
of it. That's controlling the iPad. Then the MIDI fighter, the MIDI mix, and the little Mini 3
Touchpad
Mark
Mini.
3 are all controlling the Force as well as the Force control as well. So everything's mapped out MIDI wise, and that the MIDI fighter's got 2 layers of mapping on that as well.
Nice.
So there's a heck of a lot of MIDI mapping, and that was the only reason I thought, I hope the USB MIDI works fine, because if it doesn't, everything's mapped off the Force into all that on the desk.
Yeah.
Mm.
One of the good things about the Force, though, is that you can put a USB hub into it, and it works brilliantly.
It is running a USB hub there. That there's one USB hub, and those the twist, the MIDI mix, and the 3 are all going into the hub. So it left me another USB port in case I needed to use any other USB equipment. But as it happened, I wasn't taking any more because that weighed a ton, that table and everything else.
Yeah, fair enough. How long did it take you actually to set up? Like, I mean, obviously you've practiced pulling it apart, putting it together, but actually on the day, how long did it take you to set up?
It was hard to say because there wasn't many people arriving, and it was more chill setting. It wasn't rushing to get in and out.
Right.
I had plenty of time so I wasn't really rushing. So I'd set part of it up, then we'd have a chat to a few people there, whoever was there. Then I'd go back, set a bit more up, and so on. So I didn't have that rushing of trying to get all the USB cables in, make sure they're linked, and like the twist. I have to wait till the Akai is loaded, whereas the other two I don't. So I can't put the twist in until the Akai is loaded, and I have to remember, because if I plugged it in first, loaded it up, nothing would have happened. So without rushing, that was a good thing.
Yeah, because it has to get the host thing. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah,
because it needs to connect to the host.
Other than that, a few things that I need to change, but no one noticed because we know what we musicians like. We're never happy. There's always something we go, that's not right.
At least you didn't have a tantrum.
We know you're a perfectionist. Yeah, no tantrums.
Yeah.
All right.
That was Ray that was tantruming because he went there.
Good on you, Dave. All right, next. Andy, how are you, buddy?
Hey, sorry, I was just trying to find a link for something. Yeah, great. Darren's set was unbelievable. It's crazy stuff. Really, really good. Yeah, although his hints were pretty bad. It's like me wearing this shirt, and then you go, hey, I got a Force.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, although I do have a Force, I just don't use it much. But it's very menu divey, but it is super powerful. It even has CV gate on it and all kinds of cool stuff. So Darren, you can integrate your modular next time with your Force.
Yes,
if you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was great. Really fun to watch that. I only caught half the show. I have to go back and watch it, but I put the link in there. You guys can watch that in the chat there. And like I was saying, Jamie will part out all the individual acts later as individual videos, so you can just go right to the person you want to watch later on once he posts that. Not too much crazy for me this week. No imams, doing hardware jams as usual. I did put Chris's module in a nice little portable case with the bare essentials, so it's nice and mobile to mix with some other gear. So I got the sequencer and his module and the precision adder, and then some other crazy stuff in here. It's still patched because I was just using it not too long ago. So mobile fun and a little these. This is like an Amazon Pelican case ripoff with the modular rails added to it that I bought from somebody. But so it's kind of nice to have alternative cases like that. And it's waterproof. Supposedly, close it up and you could throw it and it could float around in the ocean if you wanted to. Other than that,
is that just a long way of sending a patch over to someone?
Yeah, exactly. Try this out and send it back with a message in a bottle. Yeah.
It floats.
Other than that, just doing a bunch of astronomy stuff. I did a stream the other night on some stuff about the eclipse we just had.
I've got to carry on watching Andy.
Yeah, we had annular solar eclipse on last Saturday. So I talked about that a little bit, showed some pictures some friends took. One friend in my club took, it looks like fake because it's a perfect annular shot of the sun around the moon shadow, the silhouette. And it looks fake, but it's just a beautiful shot. He was right on the path in Arizona. So I talked about that a little bit, talked about some NASA website stuff that's cool, like 3D tours and some new, some other iOS apps I haven't talked about before for astronomy. Also, I'm working on getting the solar scope shortly so I can start doing daytime streams with H-alpha and white light filters. So you can get some cool shots of the sun, watch prominences, and granularity of the surface and sunspots and plage. This thing is kind of blooming effect called plage, which is these bright spots and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, more stuff to look forward to.
Awesome.
I'll shamelessly self-promote. I'll put a link in the chat here from my channel. You guys can check out my astronomy stuff later if you want to.
Brilliant. All right, we'll head on next to who's next? Ian. Hey.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good day. So it's a couple of weeks, isn't it? So first things first, and I have to slightly apologise for my very dodgy filming from Synthfest because I couldn't hear a word you guys were saying. I'm trying to listen to the phone. Anyway, that's the side. But a friend of mine, John from Wonky Stuff, gifted me this, which is Alan Strange's from 1980. This was the 1982 version, electronic music, and it's loads of modular stuff apart from loads of other stuff. So I've only just started dipping into it, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So do you guys know about that book?
I don't think I remember that one.
No. Originally it came out in early 70s, 72, I think. And then this was a reprint of the 83 version, which was updated. But really, really interesting. I mean, it's quite nerdy and quite technical, but you know, he'd ordered a copy because it was on a Kickstarter, and by mistake, I think they sent him 3 copies. So he gave one, I think, to Simon, and he asked me if I wanted one. I went, yeah. So yeah, that's great actually. I spent money because of Synthfest, and I bought that.
Yeah, I might be getting that too. That's awesome.
Honestly, I am learning to finger drum properly because I can't finger drum for toffee. But I'm actually using drum music I want to learn drum music to do it. So it's brilliant. Just, you know, switch it on, play. The kits are great. It's very, very responsive. You know, it's easy to get an easy beat. You know, like all finger drumming to make it really work. You've got to work at it. So I'm doing a bit every day. Actually, it's great fun. What else is new? Spent 2 days looking at more houses down south. Going back again next week. Installed the latest version of Reaper. Anybody else do Reaper? But I had to buy it this time. I've had my Reaper license for quite a long time, so I wasn't that surprised when I installed it yesterday, and it did ask me to pay $72, which it's worth every penny, really.
Yeah, I've got it on
that is
Linux.
That is my go-to DAW and always has been, really. What else happened? I finished mastering my album, and I've got a date for release. It's going to be the 3rd of November. So, and it'll be, as always, released on Bandcamp first, and then probably just before Christmas, it'll be on streaming. Bandcamp will have extra tracks. And I just need to finish the sequencing of the tracks. I had in my head, and I've been listening to a version of the album where I had all the tracks in the right sort of order. But actually then I started to mess around with it and think, actually, I think I might change it around. So I'm going to live with that for a few days, and then, you know, it's done, really. To make sure that there's nothing I've missed in the mastering, you know. So I'm quite pleased with that, really. You know, that's it. That's my week. Oh, and I've had a COVID vaccine and a bloody flu jab this morning. Yeah.
Lovely.
And you're still feeling all right?
Yeah, actually, I didn't have them the same week. I had the COVID vaccine last week, and my arm was sore for a few days, and I had a bit of a bump, but I had no ill effects at all. The flu jab was this morning. So, and the last time I had them, which was both together, one in each arm, I really was quite a bit dodgy for a couple of days, and I didn't know what was causing what. So
probably not
that's why I
have them
split
both at the same time. Yeah.
They want you to be fair. The NHS want you to have them at the same time, but
so you don't dick them about.
Yeah,
Stuff them,
exactly.
because
and actually,
your immune system's going crazy. with 2 different
Yeah,
viral,
yeah.
treatments. Yeah.
And I mean, I've had the flu jab for quite a while because of asthma. So it's not. And I always sort of feel a bit just slightly under the weather for a couple of days with the flu jab. Not ill, but just a bit crabby, I would say. But there again, Jane would say I'm always crabby. So, but yeah, no, it's been a busy week, but yeah, fun, really.
Awesome. Over to Chris.
G'day. Well, I have to start by first saying I apologise for not mentioning stuff I did last week, or the week before last week. I've been mucking around. With something here. I've been mucking around with this fella.
Yay.
Ooh.
Rick Modular.
Yes. Rick Modular. Night Rider. Which I got a few weeks ago and finally was able to. Yes, I did. I did a jokey video with the music in it. I knew it wasn't going to get cause copyright problems because everyone uses it. But yeah, no, mucking about with it in the studio on the modular and did some videos. One of those videos is up on my website now. Put it up yesterday, and there'll be a longer version of that up tomorrow for all those people who are vaguely interested.
It's a formant filter module.
It is a quad formant filter, and it's a stereo quad formant filter. So 2 of the filters are on one side, and the other. Actually, every single filter is individually panable. I tell a lie.
Yeah.
I just always have it set up and sort of. So it's a bonkers module. It's a very bonkers module. There's so much. It comes with a quite comprehensive manual.
Yeah, but this is Rick to a T. This is how he puts effort into stuff. You know,
it's very cool. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Apart from that, I've been working on the new PCB for my next module.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a replacement unit for Andrew Brooks. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll get there through all the inclement weather they're having. Wow.
Yeah.
I hope everything. I believe it's covered. It's wrapped in so much bubble wrap. I'm sure it'll float. Yeah, exactly what Ranzee said. Yeah, it comes in corks. Australian hat style. Keep the flies. Yeah, no, so they hopefully should get to him soonish, and he'll have a replacement module, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. I'm glad to see that everyone else is having no technical issues with their modules, which is good. So we're getting closer. I just need to, as I said, finish some PCB designs for my next module, which will then free me up to be able to put in an order for a round of quite a lot of PCBs, which will be important for the future, which you'll probably see. But yeah, no, I've got to.
And then you'll be able to take some orders for the GP82.
Yes. I nearly built all the units. I just got 3 more to build, and then that's all of my units built, and therefore all of them ready for sale when I've dotted the I's and crossed the T's and got important stuff sorted out on the financial side. So yeah, it's not too much longer, hopefully. I was hoping to get the dead module back, but it hasn't arrived yet. I think Andrew's having some issues finding the time because he's quite busy with the term at the moment at the school. So
which is why he hasn't been on the show.
So haven't really been able to make any progress on that, but I'm really encouraged by the fact that I've been running like 5 or 6 units in that modular continuously for days. No problems. You guys are having no problems. So I think there's no design flaws such. I think this is maybe a bit of bad luck. So fingers crossed.
Well, you're never going to really know until you get it back, I guess. So
That's right. And even then, I may not be able to make some kind of conclusion because we are talking about silicon devices, which I can't look inside of don't have the. I'll have to spool up the electron microscope. I don't have that in the back of my shed. So no. So yeah.
What?
So
You
that's
haven't got
Hang on a
one?
minute.
pretty
Oh,
much
there we go.
like
There it
them.
is. There's the
Ooh.
microscope.
Yes.
No, sorry.
And we've been having conversations, haven't we, Ranzee, about DIY modules that you might.
Yeah,
be
we'll probably chat
building.
about that a bit later. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Keep the powder dry, but yeah, we've been having a bit of fun there.
Mm.
Apart from that, yes, as I said, I got some music done with experiments with modular. I did get some work done on the Polyend tracker. I did the most important thing you should ever do with new piece of gear, which is I just had fun and played with it for 2 hours. And forgot about any of the issues I was having.
Chris,
So it is still
are you still
functioning.
Are you still having issues?
Sorry,
Because
sorry?
you know there was an update to 1.71.
1.71. I still have the same clicking issues, but they
'Cause I had-
disappear when I render them, when I bounce down the tracks. So unfortunately, I think it is kind of a, it's a hardware issue, not hardware issue, but I mean, it's the platform playing live. They think they've got some issues with their audio engine there that they still haven't quite sorted out. But with respect to rendering offline,
I don't get clicking
all,
issues with
all
mine.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it
get-
comes
I-
and goes.
But I'm wondering if it's a
I
sample
had
rate
it crash.
or a bit rate issue.
Yeah, there's so many more things we can experiment with to try and find out what it is. Maybe we'll get to the
I mean,
bottom of it.
before I put the 1.71 in update in, I was getting it crashing. Not all the time, but it crashed a few times.
I didn't get any crashes. Just the
No,
annoying clicks.
but I've not had the clicking thing.
As I said, I've only done one project, so
Yeah,
you change the project, it might get different
What's
results.
happened then?
I know, StreamYard's exploded. Taken over the stream. Hi, Ted.
hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve.
Jumped in there, and I just want to fix that up. I don't know why that went.
Hey, Steve.
Weird.
Full screen.
That was weird.
How you feeling, Steve?
And while we talk, while Darren was showing his Pro VS, I did get to play at one at Synthfest because one of our, I can't remember who brought it, but somebody brought it. We were sat around the table, and having seen it in real life, I don't like it, but I liked it better than I hated it. If that makes sense. I thought the form factor when you actually see it in the real world is actually better than the pictures that we saw. I wouldn't want one, and that the jog wheel looks is very, very flimsy. But the build quality apart from that jog wheel is pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing I have with that jog wheel, I was going to say, the only thing I've not there, we on there. Let's say, is like you say,
very
Ian,
PlayStation
it's a little,
joystick,
yeah. So if I've got it
rattle.
on my live set, it keeps doing that.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
dropping.
Gravity doesn't have
It's
a
droopy.
strong enough spring.
It's
Oh,
droopy.
he's got a droopy knob now. He's had every other kind of knob, but now he's got a droopy knob.
Big knob,
yes.
purple knob, no droopy knob.
Thanks,
That
Keith.
is
Thanks, Keith.
classic.
It was Steve
So-
Exorb who showed me it.
Yeah,
Well,
they
it'd
should
be
have tightened
interesting to
that
see
up.
what
That
the
shouldn't be drooping like that.
That'll be interesting because the Victor is the Eurorack version
It has the
is
same thing.
horizontal, so it's they're going to know pretty quickly if that's drooping down. So maybe that's why
I mean,
it hasn't been
Don't
released.
get me wrong.
I have to say
It doesn't droop down. It doesn't droop down all the time like that. It's fine. But
Well,
when
it's
you
doing
do
it now.
till that, and there's a bit
It's
of loud
slowly
music
doing it.
going, and it's
Yeah.
Just as you were
there
doing
you
it,
go.
yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Droopy. Maybe Dave got
Say
to
that-
it.
Droops live on set.
Do you reckon Dave got to it?
The price point, if you want to buy
you
it
pulled it off.
for a present for a kid, it's brilliant, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's,
To get
it's
people
a
into
fun little thing.
synthesizers,
Pretty amazing.
it's great and it's reasonable. So, yeah,
It's-
don't
it's
buy
nice.
more.
Darren, did you give it the park
But
bench
it
test
is
yet?
what it is. No, but I will do.
That's it.
There are some
When the weather, maybe
there are
when
some
the
MIDI
weather
issues
finds
with it, by the way.
Yeah, when the weather's better.
MIDI.
There are some MIDI issues with
yes.
it, and they have released a firmware update for it. But I don't know whether that's actually fixed the MIDI issues because I read the release notes of the firmware update, and there's this massive post on their Facebook, their Behringer Facebook site, that this guy said, oh, when I'm playing notes on it and I'm changing patches, it cancels notes out and all this kind of weird stuff. Just weird. Sounds to me like the processor's not handling some of the the code changes properly. That's what it sounds like to me. But then this release notes of the new release doesn't address anything to do with the MIDI problems this guy was having. And then maybe they'll have another release and then another one, a droopy knob release. That's hilarious.
Replaces springs, yes.
Steve's here on StreamYard, so let's go across there.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, you're right.
Hiya,
How you
mate.
doing?
Hi, Steve. How you feeling?
Pretty much the same. Pretty much wiped out. I got COVID. I tested for COVID on last Monday. So I did a test in the afternoon yesterday because I wanted to go to Blackpool, and then sort of decided against it because I didn't want to contaminate everyone. So I had to watch it remotely, which is a shame.
It'd have been a pain. It'd have been a pain to get there.
Yeah,
It'd have been a pain to get there, and if you weren't feeling well sitting in there, you'd have been there for 4 hours trying to get there.
Yeah, and they use any excuse to close the M6. I mean, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear you got
You wouldn't
COVID.
have made it.
Yeah. So, I've been off work all week. And I've had to order some new tests. But I ordered some kit this week, and it came today, which is like a little black face plate for the Chaos Devices radar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I think there's some. I need some looping envelopes. So yeah,
Nice.
That's a fun module. Mine came in black.
did it? I had to buy a separate face plate for it because that was like 35 sheets, so it wasn't cheap. Yeah, but yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, but it's a pity I couldn't make it yesterday, Darren. I was looking forward to having a listen. It must have sounded wicked in there.
Yeah, I must admit, the system was massive. Yeah, it was proper pounding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's always good to
forward.
hear your stuff on a big sound setup. I reckon it's awesome. It's the first time you ever hear it, you go, whoa.
Yeah. I've been
Especially when
playing
you
around
listen
with
to it on
Total
headphones.
Mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this week, while I've had some time at home, I've been trying to get my head around the Total Mix software.
Yeah.
RME stuff, which is quite good now. I managed to get my headphones working properly.
Oh, good.
Rather than these conference things.
You'll be able to hear things properly now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the Total Mix is good. Like, what sort of things were you trying to do with it? Just get it set, I guess.
Yeah, just make sense of it all. Really, trying to get loop back to work as well, so that I can, take samples of things into the door and things like that. Get stuff routed how it should be. I need to get myself a patch bay, I think, though. And what I'd really like to do is these sort of keyboards over the back to my left as well, to my right as well. I need some kind of a stage box, but you seem to only be able to get XLR ones, and I can understand the reason for that. But I'd really like to get one with 1/4 inches on it, so I can just bring that over.
It's more
via a
about the
snake.
balanced, so you don't get those phasey losses and stuff. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I always, sometimes I kind of feel like the loop back is kind of done with smoke and mirrors. It's kind of weird, how it works, but it does work. For those who want to know what we're talking about, this is what Total Mix looks like on a Mac. So it's pretty cool. You can bring all your channels in. Obviously, a little different depending on what sort of interfaces you've got connected, but you bring all your channels in. Those two that you can see there with the green permanently, that's DC coupling on the Expert Sleepers module. So It's quite normal for you to see DC coupling to have like a line level like that. And in Ableton, what you do is you just any DAW, I guess. What you do is you go into the actual audio channel, and then you just run a utility thing here. See if I can zoom in. Is it Command Option Control? I forget what it is. Yeah, that's it. You run this thing here, and then you just hit DC. So if I turn DC off, just have a look at this level here, right? Watch this. Boom. See that? So that's your DC offset. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, hope you get better, bud.
Thanks, Ranz. Yeah.
Play with some looping envelopes. That always makes you feel better.
Yeah. Well, I'm just waiting some more tests coming so that I can potentially go back to work confidently on Monday. But
Yeah,
I might have to work from home, essentially.
I
Which is
found,
awkward when you got a physical job.
depending on, I guess, depends on the strain of COVID that you get, right? But
Yeah.
I found that it took me about a proper sort of 7 to 10 days to fully sort of get back to normality. You still had a kind of lingering niggle here and there within the last few days, and it was getting frustrating, but I found it was a proper 7 to 10 days for someone my age anyway.
Well, I suppose we've been going to see Europe tonight in Wolverhampton, but it doesn't look as if we can go and see them either now.
That sucks. Can you get a refund though because you had COVID, or is that?
I'd have to look into it.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that if I got a negative test this afternoon, I'd still go, but I hope.
Yeah, I got it like during the early part of this year, and I was in the middle of sending a whole bunch of stuff out for when I was selling stuff off on Reverb, and it was like such at the wrong time. Like there was all these orders coming in, and I'm like, how am I going to post this stuff? And that's how I found out. There's a place that I told Chris about. There's a company that I found out they come and pick up from your house, and they are also 100% non-contact as well. So so what I did is I put all the gear, wrapped it all up, and then I got my bottle of Diggers isopropyl alcohol, and I just went and just killed all the germs that were on it, and left it outside the front door, and within a few hours it would disappear, and within a week the person
You're telling me it would here in a few hours it will disappear. Probably not by the people who want it to.
Well, I'm pretty lucky where I live, so I don't really have. I've got like a fence out the front of my house, and it's got a security gate. And I've got cameras, and so if people walk up the driveway through the gate, it will like all these alarm bells go off on my watch, on my phone, in the house.
Sounds like you're in Fort Knox there. Security gate cameras.
Well, he's also got the sound cannon.
It's just a
which
doorbell
he directs
system.
at the person
You guys
he
have probably
doesn't like it.
These things, you guys have
All
heard
those
of
sound weapons.
them. These things, the Ring doorbell system. That's the battery pack, but yeah, it's just that. And
there's that famous guy who sabotages packages on his porch to catch guys.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Dust bombs and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
that was great watching that. Well, it's good to catch up with all of you guys. We probably should hook on into the show. We do have our regular segments for those who have watched this for the first time. Now that you've gotten to know all the video guests, StreamYard, there's still spots available if you want to jump in. Steve's sitting out there on his own with COVID. Don't worry, you won't catch COVID. Well, you might, but I can't promise that. Let's do this. Now, Steve, did the sound work?
No.
But you saw the video, but you didn't hear the sound.
Yeah.
Okay, I've still got to fix that problem. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What have we got here, people? Someone said to me this is a really, really good Photoshop job, and If it is, that's one of the best Photoshop jobs I've seen in a long time.
It is. I looked on the internet for it. It doesn't exist. So yeah.
Well, there is one.
Right.
There is one page it exists on the internet. So I can show you it, but it's not anything special. I think I put it in Discord during the week. Yeah, actually, if you guys are on Discord, this is the Discord server address, right? There it is. There. Go check it out in the memes channel on the Discord server, and there's a link in there. We don't really need to show it now. All right, let's go back to us, and then we'll go back to here. I thought it was pretty clever, though.
Blank stare, though.
I mean, I had
blank stare. Yes.
I had the $6 million man. Who had the $6 million man? That's the one I had.
$6 million man.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah.
That was the first action figure I ever got. That was him.
Oh, I had Action Men before that.
Oh, maybe I did have Action Man
Yeah,
too.
I probably did.
I just remember the TV show where it went every time you ran somewhere.
With his eagle eye.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I had the cheaper version, which was something called Tommy Gun.
Can you imagine Klaus Schultz running around the stage? Patch and modular. Because he's now a legend.
They actually had.
I like the fact he's got the authentic
museum.
The authentic best.
And
toy.
the Obi-Wan Kenobi in the maquette little thing they made for some early work for the Star Wars like far away shots. They used the $6 million man wrapped up as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, really?
You can see the hole in his head where the eye. You can look through the eye. So,
That's cool.
yeah,
What else we got?
Funny.
There's a few interesting memes this week, so let's try this one. Do you like Depeche Mode songs? No, that music is for old people. It's kind of the opposite in my car coming home from school. My daughter, it's Taylor Swift at the moment. She's gone through a Taylor Swift phase.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. You can't beat Taylor Swift. I agree with that. She got a new single out as Taylor.
She's good.
Yeah,
Then
that
there's
must be
this
one of
one.
the oldest Swifties.
Darren? Because hold up your little Pro VS Mini thing, right? When you're looking at that logo, it's Pro versus Mini. Look at it.
It is.
It's Pro versus Mini.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you just don't know which one you got there. I mean, you've probably just got Mini.
Yeah. I'd
And
say
when I saw that, I
Mini
just
and
thought, do you remember these guys a couple of years ago? I just thought the guy on the left is the neck guy, if you remember, and the guy on the right he looks like Rubber Man.
Right, yeah.
They were kind of
That's
popular
spooky.
a few years back on the internet. So I thought Pro versus Mini. That worked well. Next. How come that button's not working? There. Are you serious? The one's not working. Have I forgotten to change the format? I think the software doesn't like one of the formats that I've got in here. Let me see if I can get it to work manually.
You mean image format?
Yeah, it's like an AVI format.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Why do the people... And like the other one is the Mac HIEC and these new image formats coming out.
Oh, God. That annoying one.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I haven't got time to sit there and convert it. We'll just go with the 3. What was your
Klaus
favorite?
Schultz for me.
Klaus Schultz.
Klaus
That's short for me.
Yeah, the Klaus one is cool.
Yeah, casuals.
What are the
Yeah.
chatties saying? Let us
We
know in the
appreciate
chat.
The craft.
Yeah, WebP's
The craft. Get it?
that
The
annoys me.
craft.
The craft, yeah. Wagoo wants
Work.
one. Everyone's
It's
gone.
only good if you collect all 4, though.
Everyone's gone with Klaus, I think. Cool. Yeah, right, we'll do that. And all of those, except for the Depeche Mode one, those 2 other memes were made by me. So, hey, I win. Beautiful.
There
Next.
was a Bob Moog action figure at one point made by some company. They didn't have a whole series of them, but there was a Bob Moog one for sure.
Really?
Like a statue
Wow.
than an action figure, but yeah, I saw one a long time ago.
That's
The 3D
interesting.
printers, you can make your own everything now, but so
Yeah. But if you could get your hands on one of
But this
those
was- this is
original
an old
ones, right? That'll
Oh,
probably
wow.
be
yeah,
pretty
it'd be
rare.
fun.
Yeah.
You could scan it and recreate it.
Yeah. All right. We should do the news. Here we go. Now, what are we going to get the first one? Okay, it worked. Cool. All right. These guys, Infrasonic Audio, they're called, the company. And this is a module which is called Warp Core. Obviously, you guys can tell that. But what it is, it's a digital stereo phase distortion oscillator. And I can talk about what that is in a sec if you want to, but I'll just go through the features first because I know most people will know what that is. It's got 8 phase distortion operations in 2 slots, providing 64 possible tone shaping combinations, like thick leads and evolving basses and stuff like that. It's got internal and external phase modulation, which enables everything from FM tones to digital noise shapes. It has an optional sawtooth or triangle windowing over output waveform to tame discontinuities and achieve a classic CZ style wave shape. So here we go. We've got the Casio sort of CZ stuff, guys. And the secondary output is the 90-degree phaser offset with variable detune amount for the lush stereo or blended unison timbres. Quite an innovative sort of tuning system on this as well, I thought, with an optional pitch knob lock and a semitone quantization. And there's a whole bunch more. It's 12 HP. It is... there's a video, by the way, which I'm going to play in a sec. It is 375 US smackaroonies. Let's do the video. It's just about finished. Yeah, you guys get the idea.
Yeah.
I just for someone who doesn't know what phase distortion is, because there will probably be someone, and
Casio.
Well, they may not. Go check out Casio CZ series synths. It was invented in the 80s. It's a digital type of synthesis, which is capable of generating a wide range of sounds. So it's coupled with phase modulation. Itself is actually a type of phase distortion. CV control and additional tone reinforcing capabilities. That Warp Core brings a new, I guess, a Casio's CZ, with CV control feeling to your eurorack, if you want. Who wants to make a comment about this one?
Sounds interesting.
Didn't sound much like a ZZ.
I don't think they were trying to. I think they were trying to sort of bring the possibilities of what the CZ can do. Yeah. I've always thought the CZ. I was never a massive fan of it.
I quite like it. I mean, it's a very distinctive sound, isn't it? You know,
the VZ took CZ to another level. So,
Andy, you go.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the VZ series. It's called Interactive Phase Distortion, IPD instead of just PD, was much more advanced than the CZ. I like them both. I have a bunch of both of them. Even that guitar, the PG380, has a VZ engine in it. But also Telharmonic by Make Noise has a CZ mode in it. If you want to get more basic CZ sounds, but also kind of wild with the modulation on board. So there are other modules that have these kind of sounds.
I think the Mutable Instruments has some as well.
Yeah, there are a few out there that have it. So it's fun. I mean, if you add some cool digital stuff to your modular, if you're more of an analog person, add a little digital flavor. But yeah, like Ian said, it didn't sound that CZ to me, but it was it's cool though.
I'd like the sound of it personally.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For that kind of techno type vibe, I was digging. But I'm sure there are other modules that can sound pretty similar. As you said, I thought it sounded a little bit different to what I've heard before, but not massively. Like, oh, that's the CZ sound. I can see it's completely different. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense that it's a little bit hybridy, sort of between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the sound of it.
I definitely heard the twang in there. That's what I was twang. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was digging. It's like
a lot of metallics.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
You sort of and depending on how your phase distortion works, like you can hear it sort of go a bit wobbly, right? When it's the modulation because you're using sine waves and things, but then it gets really crunchy when that sort of audio rate stuff hits it. So it's kind of cool.
If you guys know Don Solaris online, he made some of the best CZ sounds I've heard.
Yeah. Steve?
I dug the stereo field on that module.
Yeah, I quite like the sound of that. I was just waiting for the breach.
yeah, drop. Yeah.
Can't breach.
He did take the bass drum out for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all right. It looked a nice module. Yeah, but I think there's loads to do that though.
I think so. Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking at everything on Modular Grid to see what else.
There's a heap of phase modulation.
Yeah,
phase distortion.
That was what I remembered. It's sort of like it's a case of
how much is it?
It reminded me that
I think it was 375. Didn't I say? 375.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty high. Yeah.
Mind you, though, I'm kind of digging the digital oscillators at the moment. I'm digging them.
Yeah.
So not because I hate analog oscillators or anything like that, but I'm digging it. It's nice to have a bit of,
mix it up.
Difference. Yeah. I like having a mixture. Yeah, I've always don't think it's a
Ranzee, before I forget, I just put a link for the Bob Moog figurine in the chat. You can check it out. It's got a little synth with them and everything. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out. Right. We can move on to the next news article, please. I have to talk about this. I know it probably came out last week when I didn't have the show, but I really do have to talk about this. I kind of think this is actually a pretty decent release from Akai. In my personal opinion, I think this is a really inexpensive standalone sequencer, which has got quite a lot of MIDI and CV capabilities. You don't have to plug this into your DAW. You can have this running as, it's probably limited in terms of the total features that the sequencer can do compared to some of the other sequencers out there. But when you think about it, if that was all that you had it for, then you'd probably have some arguments not to get it. But because of what it can, if you're an Ableton user, then it hooks in. It's kind of like, a pseudo push. And then also, you can use it as a controller, Darren, for your Akai
I know.
Force.
This came out before I did the live set.
Yeah.
And seeing as I hadn't got any money together, I started humming and thinking about it. So possible. I mean, I do like it. At first, when it first came out, when I first seen it, I thought, what? There's a push 3 and they've brought, and this is. I was like a bit sort of unsure about it. I was sort of thinking, I don't know about that. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought about it, and I looked into it, the more I thought, well, yeah, because like you say, it's a lot cheaper than getting a push 3. And if you've already got Ableton and you've not got a lot of money together, that's going to be really good. And then, like you say, when I started looking outside of Ableton of what it might be able to do is more interesting, because I wouldn't be using this specifically in Ableton because I wouldn't need this as Ableton. But as a live feature, there may be. But I'll have to look into it more to see what we can do with it.
We'll check out the video in a sec. But Darren, what I got you there, the 4, the 8 sliders, right? Faders, yeah.
Yes.
And
this is interesting because some people at first didn't like it. They said, "Oh, that's touchpads," but they have the benefits as well.
Yep. Well, you got the light feedback, and the light feedback is RGB. It's not just one color.
Yes, it's close, so you can between them. You've got, like you say, between them, in that like one's fader can do multiple things, and the lights correspond to what you're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was Lupop mentioned it might have been a good idea to have them on one side as opposed to 2 sides. But I think the whole point with this is that you'd actually use your left hand and your right hand with this. Now, bearing in mind, this is a MIDI controller, right? So if you take the Ableton equation out and you use this as a controller for your Force, or you use it as a controller for something else, MPC, whatever, right? Anything that takes MIDI, those faders can be mapped to anything.
It's a shame it hasn't got pots along the top.
But you don't need them. I think you could use the launch control or something else with it.
You know the pots on the Force, the 6 is it? Yeah, 6. Imagine that with a full length of pots on there that's all mappable.
Yeah, or maybe. Anyway, let's check out the vid. Let's check out the vid just to refresh our memories, because I know most of you have probably already checked this out, right? But let's check it out anyway, just to refresh our memories, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. There you go. On the back of it, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 8 CV connections on the back, which is friggin' awesome. It's got MIDI in, out, and through as TRS connections on the back. I'll try and see if I can get the website up and we can show you guys what I'm talking about. Might be a good idea.
It's got 2 outs, but they're copies of each other.
Yeah. APC 64.html. Let's see if that works. Here we go. So you can see on that graphic there the outputs there. Right? And then your MIDI on the right hand side. USB-C connectivity. So just kind of think of this as if you're an Ableton DAW owner, it would probably be more of a benefit to you to get this than anyone else. But it's not just for Ableton; it's also for standalone, and the standalone features are not absolutely massively groundbreaking, but they're
handy though.
They are pretty handy, and you can use it with your modular. And there's a heap of videos on the Akai Pro YouTube channel, by the way, showing those being in use. The OLED display, I think there was a photo of it somewhere. You can see it just there, the OLED display. Is also pretty cool because a lot of these controllers don't have any sort of visual feedback on what's going on when you're trying to, set things and programming them and things like that. So that OLED display is helpful because when you're actually pressing things, it tells you what you've set that as a feature and a function. Anyway, let's have a chat about this. $400 US, $399, $400, $650 Australian. Who wants one?
I'm like maybe because maybe if I'm gonna get, I could use that in Ableton. So I've just been thinking I could use that in Ableton rather than have my keyboard, which takes up more space on my limited desk. So my keyboard could then go out the way and I could be using the pad, like a bit like the push. But also maybe it can be used as in my live set as well. So I'm now seeing it as two things. So I'm probably about here looking at maybe saving for it. So I quite like it. I do. It'll be one of those I'll probably have to send hints over the internet whether I've got one or not at some point.
I don't know how you're going to say that.
Oh dear.
We're still not going to get that.
So
we just won't. We won't understand it.
You need to be blatant.
All right,
Darren, you need to be blatant about it. Just tell us, man.
Let me just show you that photo too, because I kind of feel like that photo there is a really good representation of what you can do with it.
Kind of how,
photo.
Yeah, kind of how.
That'd clean my desk up here. Because my desk is quite full.
You need a little fern with a little basket pot holder.
Exactly. And that
it's a fake fern.
I think it's an IKEA fern.
Yeah, you need those little those speaker stand things as well that point upwards a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I think Lou Pop's video was pretty good. If you want to go check that out and find out what it can do.
I don't think it's for me. I don't do Ableton. I know that you can use it for other things, but if I want to do any grid-based stuff, I'll use an instrument. For just as a controller. Oh, hi Andy. So I don't think it is for me.
I thought you were throwing the voice there.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting good at that. So no, I think if I need to do grid stuff, I've got other things I would use.
I didn't think it'd be for you.
Anybody doing live stuff that's in the Ableton Live universe, and you haven't got something like that, it's be great. I'm not that keen on those. Sorry, go on.
It's a 32-step, 8-track step sequencer, but as a standalone. So if you take Ableton out, it doesn't actually, for me, it doesn't flatten me.
No, why is it not 64? I could do it to be 64, surely.
But it would potentially, if you don't have like a Beat Step Pro or a Key Step, if you're one of these people that doesn't have one of those, and you're thinking, I actually wouldn't mind having CV control coming straight out of the back of thing that doesn't actually. Okay, so the other cool thing about it too is that from what I've worked out with Loopop's video is that the CV control will also work through Ableton as well. So that actually opens up CV control from Ableton directly to it. Not sure how that works, whether it's some sort of MIDI to CV sort of skullduggery going on there.
We need to know more. Keen to know more.
It's like a weird hybrid. It's like Machina Jam meets Akai meets MPC meets whatever. It's a weird hybrid of stuff. But if it has all that CV
does it fit in the
functionality,
do the pads have poly aftertouch?
Poly aftertouch, yes.
Yes,
There's 64 RGB velocity sensitive pads with poly aftertouch, 8 fully assignable touch strips. Yep.
Pressure. Yeah.
But no MPE.
cool.
It's pretty cool.
No.
Oh, okay. See, there was a thing in the Loopop video. He had to disable MPE in Ableton to get this to work.
Oh, this is that thing I heard about.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's no big deal. You
Because
it's literally
Ableton's changed.
You just untick it in Ableton. It's like you've got your.
I
three
think
columns.
they should have stretched.
It's
to
just the
MPE on
default
it.
mode.
I mean,
Possibly, and it's probably
See,
not
they've
out of the
obviously-
cards to do it, right? It's just a firmware
I don't
thing.
know, but you can see they've obviously built this and then they should have known, and then Ableton launched push 3, and they thought,
Yeah.
if they'd have had MPE on this, you know, if they wanted it to work seamlessly with Ableton as well and be a standalone cheaper version, they should. I think they should have put MPE on it. I mean, that's not going to affect
So
me,
I-
what I'd be using it for.
You know, there's this French Kickstarter thing, the Exquisite, which is a 200 quid MPE grid. In fact, I've backed it and I've ordered it. I think it's. I played with it at Synthfest. It's not as good as an instrument, but there again, it's a damn sight cheaper for something. But for something that's 200 quid and has got 3-point MPE, not 5-point MPE, it's a good way of getting into it. You know, be interesting to see whether when that actually it's supposed to drop next month or something before Christmas. You know.
I kind of feel like Akai and Roland, they must like meet and have like piss take laughing meetings where they're just going to say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to release a product and we're going to leave MPE off and let's watch them all rage and we'll sit back and drink our coffee and throw popcorn at the screen. I honestly think, like, what the hell?
It does baffle you though sometimes, doesn't it? When they release these products and it's like they're just that one obvious thing away when they've built the thing. I mean, it's not like something that's far out that no one's thinking of it.
It's because of I think it's because of development pipelines. They have a process from beginning to end where they start development and then they do this and then they do that and they do that. And if halfway through, you know, when they're 2 weeks into the pre-launch for the promotion side of things that nobody's saying, let's go back and do some last minute software changes. It's like, you say that again and you're not working here.
Throws them out the window.
It's exactly, yeah. It's like, it's just not a done thing.
cool.
It's like,
The strips are cool, but I think they missed a trick. They should have had one long ribbon below the pads, so you have some expression.
That would have
there.
been good.
That would have been cool too. Yeah, it's some, and I think what Darren said too with the knobs across the top,
Well, I understand why they didn't use the knobs because having it low profile like that, you can throw it in a bag and no knobs to snag on anything or break.
And I think they could have improved the sequencer a bit, the standalone sequencer. And by the way, Loopop did say this in his video. He sent some recommendations to Akai, and they said to him straight away that it's entirely possible that those recommendations that he put in his video could be implemented because it's a firmware-based thing, right? So it's not changing any physical things. Like adding knobs is a physical thing. We're going to do that, but making the sequencer better, making it MPE compatible, possible, right? So those things could be on the
But like,
cards.
yeah, but like we've always said, I think we've all said this, haven't we? You buy the product as it is now, and not what it might do.
Yeah, you don't hope. You don't ever buy it for hope.
You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't. You
Yeah.
don't
absolutely.
It might be worth
Throw the
wagering
dice.
this weekend. It's certainly, I mean, for a 400 quid MPE controller, it would be amazing.
Well, I mean, I just got this. I mean, this is the same as what I use on my show.
The
But I just got this
the
thing,
little one.
the APC Mini.
Yeah.
And this is the Mark II, right? Or 3 or whatever it is, Mark II. And I use the Mark I on my show. And this is brilliant. And you can use this, Darren, with your Akai Force. This is actually sitting next to my Force right now. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next.
It would be nice to know is if those strips actually toggle to fixed, or do they snap back if you want them to?
No, you can do both. Yeah.
You can do both. Okay.
Yeah, and the OLED. So this is one of the cool things I like
You can
about
lock them too.
some of the stuff
Right.
that you can set on this is actually in the device itself. You don't actually have to run software and configure it. There is a configuration software as well, but some things it's limited, but some things you can set, and things like that, I believe you can. Right, let's go to the next because we want to get through. I thought this was something that we talked about earlier. This is FX Boy by Farco. With like the Game Boy type cartridges, right?
Processor,
yeah. Let's watch the video. It's we're not going to watch all 6 minutes of it, but we'll watch the start of it and we'll come back in a sec. Have a chat about this interesting Euro module. Indeed. Turned on, so he's chucking it in live. And he doesn't change the cartridge for the other 5 minutes of that video. Just change a few cartridges. Anyway, we should talk about this briefly because I think we did mention this when Super Booth
first
came out.
announced. It was a Super Booth as well.
I think it was Super Booth.
I think we've talked about it 3 times, including this time.
Yeah, and so you can get it now. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
They are $460 US, I think, for the pack. I'm not sure exactly what you get in the pack. But, okay, so what are people wondering about this thing? They are a multi-FX module based on game cartridges, as I said before. There is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different modular companies who have put these cartridges together, including one of my mates. Feedback Modules are one of them. Tesseract Modular, Instruo are in there. Making Sound Machines are in there, and Befarco have got their own, of course. So this is actually a cool thing. This is kind of a way for modular people to sort of collaborate, I guess. And it's, as you can see with that graphic, there's a bit of electronics in each of these cartridges. I'm just wondering, before we kind of get more into this, I'll bring the website up and we can have a bit of a scroll through it. Does this kind of have a feel like something that's been out in the market before? I'm wondering if anyone will pick up on this.
Is that
There are a few
tip-top
things that
audio?
have those cartridge things. Yeah.
I remember.
There is one.
Avalon
Didn't
Didn't
baseline.
Erica
does it.
do? Didn't Erica do it as well with like a
Erica.
preset type card?
Yep. I don't even know
The
what
one I'm
ended up
thinking
happening
of
to
is
that.
tip-top audio, and it's big reverb thing where you could get all the different SD cards that was
Mm.
fitting for different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
algorithms.
also
I
one.
think it's.
Yeah.
That was
But that was
I think it's a good
very-
idea. I just think that
It's purely
the
digital.
cards just stick out way too much. I mean, you could see the guy when he was manipulating those controls on there. That it was in the way.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it does stick out a
I
bit, doesn't it?
think it's more of a
Yeah.
it's more of a sort of lucky, flashy, quick. Let me stick my cartridge in rather than a little SD card type. Look.
I mean, the
I know
Brooklyn
it's
Easel
got
was the
big
first to
components
have
on
little
it.
cards you stick in. You know.
Yeah,
It's good.
I
the hot
thought
swappable,
I thought it reminded me a little bit of these, in a sense. And so instead of you buying cards, you bought, what was it, 4 different modules from Roland, but then they were all configurable through software. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, wouldn't it that have been a cool idea with Befarco that you could have these little cartridges, but also you could configure the module in software as well? A little bit like a VCV rack type sort of setup, or maybe that's something they're going to plan to do in the future. I kind of
Did you
felt
say
like
the
Although
price
people said
of
they
all
want
the
tactile,
cards
this
as
is
well?
tactile.
Okay, separate.
So this is
true. You can't win. Let's have a look at the website. These are all the different modules here that they talk about. So
the cards are separate. How much are the cards then each?
yeah, we'll get to that in a sec because there is like a pack you can get. So feedback modules is the flanger, which is based, I believe, on a BBD. It's an analog wave forwarded by Making Sound Machines. There's the AVMA by Tesseract Modular, which is a bipolar VCA. So I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but these actual cards have electronics inside them. Then it's not just like a digital.
I don't think. I think that's part of the ethos is to have swappable analog electronics.
Yep. We'll talk about what the cards.
Well,
worth and
Ken's
all that
just
sort
said
of stuff in a
something
sec.
anyway about the about once you've swapped quite a few times, if the slot starts to go a bit pear shaped.
And
Let's put it that way.
Okay, so
And the interesting, the
Here's the
idea
price.
of putting
yeah,
pure
go in.
data patches in is quite interesting.
Yeah. So one Founders. Okay, what's a Founders is what I'm kind of wondering is that's probably a Founders there. Those bunch of cards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So
That
you're
makes
getting
sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. And then I guess in the future there'll be more. Hopefully, if someone decides to be part of it. Interesting idea. Will it take off? Not sure.
So did the Game Boy cartridges require you to blow like the NES did? So you see like artists blowing on the stage like, for the cards.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Blow
he just
and
blowing
pray.
it for luck, wasn't he?
I don't know if they had that problem on the Game Boy or not. So
No.
Throw salty.
My slot's not working. Bit like
Yeah.
saggy lob.
There was a better picture here. Oh no, it was the same. Okay, cool. Anyway, I honestly thought we saw that at Super Booth. We thought what, and then now I guess we've got kind of they've gone off to those modular developers and they've got some legs with some of those cartridges now, which is pretty cool. They do say that there is a tiny pop can be heard when you are removing cartridges while the system is turned on.
And wet, yeah.
And then, as you guys mentioned, Kent mentioned that there may be an electronic
Long.
lifespan. I don't know if Kent, would that be electromechanical? Would that be an electromechanical issue?
it gets dirty too. If you
spring
don't keep
loaded.
your cartridges clean, you'll get it all full of junk.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, you've got Yeah, you've got corrosion and you've got spring-loaded contacts.
Dust, all kinds of stuff.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's one of those. It's for in the studio on a big wall of a big modular, and it just looks cool, doesn't it? Let's play with the modular.
I don't know what these people were thinking. Like Darren,
Very
like you're in a
matrixy.
club, right? Say you're doing an EMOM or something, right? You're in a, you've got your massive modular sitting there, and everyone's like drinking piss and smoke machines on, and here you are plugging this cartridge in this tiny little module, hoping that everyone sees you do it because you're cool.
That's why you need. That's why we're going to need special little like lipstick cameras everywhere and blow everything up behind us so that people could see what we're doing. See that? I twiddled that knob just right.
Well, plus you get to the gig, go, oh wait, where did I put that one cartridge? Can't do my show.
Yeah.
You drop the cartridge and it lands in the schooner of beer. Oh no!
Yeah. It's like Lister's brain in Red Dwarf moment. That one.
Life is being alive.
Well, something falls into the
Somebody
slot
steps
and you
on
start
it.
there trying
It's all
to
over.
pick the thing out.
All right.
It's another thing to lose. That's a good point. And where are you going to store your cartridges? In a
Exactly.
Ziploc
In your
Well,
bag.
you've got to carry a bag
Maybe a
of your
case.
cartridges in.
Chris, in your
You
pocket.
need the
Could be
module
a
hanging
case coming
rack
out
on
for
the side.
$99 to put your cartridges in.
All right. Well, if you guys want to pay that sort of crazy, what is it, 480 euros? That's a lot of money for a module.
Or you have to
To
one of
be
those
fair.
nerdy belt packs that people wear and put it in your belt pack.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, that's a lot of money. Darren, what do you think? I think that's a lot of money. Do you reckon that? Do you reckon you could sneak that expense past the missus? I don't think so.
No.
Unless you can write it off on tax.
One module.
Hey,
Yeah,
Robbie,
but look at these.
write it off on tax, mate.
Cassettes.
Yeah.
Have to
All
have
right.
an FM module.
Let's have a look at this. Now, I'm going to play video first because it's only short and we'll talk about it in a sec.
Although, just a quick one. That's going to be used in sci-fi movies.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Can I
Yeah.
press play now,
That's
Darren?
what it's 9-4.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, play.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. If you're wondering what that's about, that's a new firmware update for the sample track. Sample track's been out now for a little while. It's good to see that they're still actively developing this product. In fact, that's firmware 3.0 that you saw on that video. They've actually now done an update. There was a few bug fixes. That's 3.1's out now. So I think that literally only a few days ago. Now, I've got 3.0 on mine. I'm not going to go show you guys everything. You just saw pretty much what was in the update. But it is relatively simple to update the firmware on these things. So you guys can see it. If you've never got yourself one of these, I reckon it's a pretty sort of low entry cost for a really, really capable machine. It's it's actually probably one of my favorite little samplers, we'll call it. In fact, one of the things that I've been playing with recently on this is on the side of this is a USB port. and you can actually record directly on your phone, sample straight off your phone onto it. So you could be surfing the YouTube or playing a podcast on there or something, and you can literally just sample straight into it. It's awesome fun. Those new features that they've brought in, I called this firmware update 3.0. I called this, let's fix some of the big frustrations some people have had with it, like bringing to the front screen some of the things that have always should have been at the front screen that you could access. And I think we are at a stage now where this product, I think, is pretty mature. They'll definitely be doing some more firmware updates, I guarantee you. But, geez, a little processor in this thing can handle so much stuff. Yeah. Anyway, thoughts? Who here has a sample track? I know I have one. Obviously, you've just seen it. So it's just the two of us, right?
Need to update mine. Mine's still in a case somewhere.
I'd probably use my iPad, really.
No, Brooksy,
I keep mine in that. And that's actually your idea, Andy. That's an Audio Technica headphone bag.
Headphone.
Literally
bag.
fits in
I
there.
keep all those bags and cases for stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Don't even throw them out.
Actually fits inside the zipper bag the stupid headset came in. It just barely fits in there.
Yeah.
Just like my 1010 black box also fits in the
I'll show you. It's
same
really,
kind of case.
It's actually like the Audio Technica one is almost perfect. It's almost like it was built
Made
for it, right?
Actually, Volcas fit in there too.
So there's the
Volcas
Audio
fit all
Technica.
sorts of places.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, Mike.
even place you don't want them to fit.
There's no tightness, or it just literally slips straight in. Boom. And then you can even pull that string.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Park bench compatible plus.
Oh, mate, that thing is so light.
Build quality looks pretty good.
That is so light, that thing. It's really light. Probably the only thing I wish it had was a rechargeable battery in it. I reckon it would have just been killer if it had a rechargeable battery in it.
I put a small microphone inside so I can have it on a wire to record things away from the unit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty self-contained. So
Yeah. I've got a little Audio Technica lapel mic, and it's actually it's got a little battery, like a coin cell
nice.
sort of battery in it. So you don't need to actually run 48 volts or anything like into it. So you can actually use it as an active mic, and it works beautifully.
I have the old 80s Radio Shack pencil mic with the red
Oh
foam.
yeah.
I have one of those.
Jeez.
So-
Lo-fi.
I use that on my parabolic mic for recording birds. They're really good for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the sample track, probably now is a good time for you to check it out. The pricing is still relatively, I mean, what was it, $200 and something US for that. It's pretty
It's still
cheap.
pretty good.
Really? 'Cause it's 439 here.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 400.
I thought it was 200 and something.
Because 200 and something
Oh, you're
sounds like
thinking-
a really good deal.
Maybe
You're
that's what I
thinking
got it
of
for.
The set,
yeah, they first announced and they were $250, I think.
Texture
something like
Lab
that.
or the
Yeah, it might have been when we got the Kickstarter. Sorry.
Early birds. We got the early
Yeah.
birds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember thinking at the time that I should have
Texture
bought one of
Labs
these,
about that.
been on the Kickstarter for this, but it's
Yeah.
seems
It
like
was
a
a bit
pricey to me
frustrating.
now.
Yeah.
That Kickstarter was a bit frustrating, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Kickstarter because
neither.
really the only benefit you get out of it is you might get a discount on the product. But what you do get is you get a lot of frustration. You get like when they actually do finally release it, you might be number 3,270 on the list. And everyone's like YouTubing, I've got mine already. And it's like, when am I getting mine?
Yeah.
And like they were releasing them I think they were making them in blocks of 100. And it took months before they got down, to whatever. I can't remember what number it was. It was about 1,000 or
At least a
something.
legit company, though. You know they're going to keep making stuff. The
Oh,
Bird
yeah.
Kids thing I bought, they finished the product. They couldn't ship it because they couldn't afford to ship it. And the company went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So I never got my product.
Yeah.
And the guy went on a holiday with your money.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they were making modules. They were actually a modular company, but they totally folded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
It can't be a great experience either for people working on, putting their stuff on Kickstarter. It sounds like it could become quite a stressful process. Like that scares me a bit, that whole sort of doing it that way.
Yeah.
That if you really,
to
really
look
need
for
that
bot,
investment,
That worked for Brad.
that's exquisite thing which is Kickstarter. They actually are also selling it through their website, and rather than just go and put it on the Kickstarter, and let's face it, there is a risk to every time you back something on Kickstarter. It was the same price. I just went and ordered it through their website, and they're sending fairly regular updates, so it looks like it should turn up at some point. But there is a
sometimes
risk
it takes
with
4 or 5
Kickstarter.
years to get something on Kickstarter.
Well, that thing that you got, Andy, the MIDI controller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had this. I bought some non-musical stuff in there too. There's this really cool desalinator pump they made out of the UK that was on the Kickstarter, and it took like 4 years to finally come out. But it's this hand pump desalinator thing. You can make fresh water from seawater. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
The one I saw that was on Kickstarter recently was that solar power water generator thing, which I thought was interesting. You just literally put it out in the desert and it creates water for you overnight.
It's cool.
Literally just sucks water out of the atmosphere. Don't know whether it's one of those scams or not, but
there's moisture everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's not.
That's why you have water in your glass,
machine,
your cold water glass. So.
At least.
Yeah. Anyway, we have finished all the news. Okay, so what out of the phase modulation / phase warp core, the APC 64, the Buffaco cartridge effects module, or the firmware update on a sample track? Which one did you like?
I'm going with the APC Me, obviously.
Yep.
I don't know really.
I'm going to surprise people and say the APC 64.
The Yamaha?
We've already shown that one, Ian.
Sorry.
I seriously am actually thinking of getting one though. They haven't turned up here
it's
yet.
Great. Well, I obviously just jumped in at the right time because they're in short supply here at the moment.
Yeah,
so it'll be the next
I was
batch
looking
for
a couple
anybody
of weeks ago. I
orders now.
probably should look again. I was looking a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't have them. Yamaha.
No MIDI on that, right, Ian?
Yeah, it's got MIDI. I'm not
Does
doing
it?
anything with the MIDI, but yeah, it's got MIDI. It's got
Something like that came out
USB.
had no MIDI recently.
What's the product
Yeah,
code
it's got
again?
it's got
Ian?
USB MIDI.
What's
Sorry?
the product code?
This is the FGDP50. The 30 is the
Rolls off the tongue,
white
man.
one where you can't put your own samples in it.
Still can't get them in Australia.
No.
Yep. Still, you can't get the Behringer, the two Behringer little mini.
You can't get the Cobalt.
You can't get the Cobalt. Yeah, you can't get that.
Victor's not coming out, but I don't think it's coming out anyway.
Yeah, I had my little.
Watching. Hit refresh.
I know we sort of finished the news, but can we just have a brief word about the fact that Bandcamp have laid off half their staff since they've been bought out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that doesn't bode well for Bandcamp going forward. I was quite disappointed to hear that.
They've always threatened to be bought out, and I think they were bought out by someone, and maybe that's all.
They were
part
bought,
of that process.
and then they were bought again.
Yeah.
Sold again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't remember who bought them now, but
They don't make a massive amount of money, though, do they? Really, when you think about it.
Who was it? Yeah, Epic bought them, which is the gaming company, and then it's been sold to Song Trader. I mean, Epic was weirder. Yeah, there's half the staff have gone. Yeah, Epic Games still, and then literally, it's really
Epic's
sad.
looking for cheap soundtracks for their games.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's face it, we're all invested in Bandcamp to some extent because we're putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's
concerning.
So just
Well, you see, when you
sorry,
think
yeah,
things
that's
just getting good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Although it's always difficult in a sort of an predominantly online sort of IT tech business. Layoffs can sometimes be a bit, seem a bit drastic when it's just to do with efficiencies sometimes.
So is it tied in with that Song Trader purchase? Is it tied in with the same, or is that kind of?
Is. That's the impression that I got. I mean, I read the same article. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the Song Trader deal has gone through for definite.
Yeah.
And then, there is this thing about them. When was this? A couple of days ago? Was it 3 days ago? Something like that. Bandcamp United saying, Epic Games sales gone through, and that.
I never understood why Epic bought them in the first place. I was scratching my head about that.
That didn't seem a right fit at all.
No. Then maybe they had a plan for it, but that fell through. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit sad. So sorry to hear. We really don't have an alternative at the moment.
No, not really.
I mean, I've completely dropped poo on SoundCloud lately, so we won't even go there.
You burnt your bridges.
Oh yeah. Well, they burnt their bridges with me first. Put it that way.
That's right.
I'm just trying to think. What is the other option? Vimeo, I guess.
No, actually interesting. There was a guy at Synthfest who was handing out cards, and he did do an interview on Sonic State with Gaz, and that's I think he's Swedish. I can't remember.
Audio or something.
Yeah, audio something. Yeah.
Audio.net.
And he is selling it as an alternative to Bandcamp, but he's probably almost too early.
Oh, that got taken offline. Audio.
What was it?
I think it's going to have to be cross your fingers and wait and see.
Lander.
It is. Yeah. So what was that?
Not Lander.
Lander.
No,
not Lander.
No.
Interesting enough, he did give me a card because he came around the table, and I don't know what I've done with it. I thought it was interesting if you could do with a really good alternative to Bandcamp. Especially if things are not going to go as well.
Legacy
as
Hand is saying Artcore. What's Artcore?
Oh, that's it. Artcore. That's it. Exactly.
Let's have a look.
It's a Swedish.
That sounds familiar.
Denmark, yeah. Let me see if I can find it. There we are.
Yeah, I think I checked out their Instagram because someone mentioned it to me.
Yeah. They're obviously trying to get people involved.
Swedish,
it's cheap at the moment, but I'm not so sure how cheap it's going to be long term. Oh, there he is. His interview with Gaz. Yeah.
This isn't the one that's got a different model to do with how they pay artists or something.
Here we go.
It's a bit more under their control. They claim it is or something.
You can. I know that he was talking about you can split royalties and things like that.
Up to 20% of each digital sale.
Yeah. That's it, 20%. But at the moment, if you sign up now for the first year, I think he said it was 5% as an introductory thing.
Beatport, that was the other one. That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, God, yeah.
Beatport.
I remember Beatport.
Yeah, they've been around. I think they've been around longer than anyone else. I never used them, though, so I can't really comment on whether they were good or bad.
I've actually bought a lot of stuff.
DJs use Beatport.
Yeah, that's why for the dance genre stuff that I like, it's pretty much
you got to
Beatport
post your
all the way.
BPM and all that stuff.
Well,
but publishing,
let's
I've never done that though.
Let's just hope that Bandcamp survives.
15%.
All my bloody t-shirts have got Bandcamp on the back.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't clicked over yet,
T-shirts.
has it? We don't need
It's
to
not
jump
music.
ship
I'm not
just
going to
yet.
try and change all my t-shirts.
No.
Oh, Spotify. Who says that? Cresshead. Steve, come on, slap.
Can I just have a rant while we're having a little rant here?
Yeah.
Go for a rant.
Because
Go on.
this is something I was going to take live. This was planned, and well, let me get it. Wait. Right, I bought this lovely thing. A few years back now.
Yes.
Is that a two-shade?
Two-shade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the big Bertha, the one with CV, USB. Oh, I can't say it. MIDI. The full works.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, they're beautiful. Really nice, and that's why I got it. I love it. I've not used it for a while, and I thought, I know. It was just stored at the back. I thought, I'll get it out and maybe use it for live. I thought, great idea. It's cool. Have a guess what? This beautiful one. Sticky.
Oh no.
Oh, you are joking.
Oh, that.
Oh, no.
Sticky.
Oh, man.
I can't believe it. It looks
Isopropyl
gorgeous.
alcohol.
As soon as I picked it up,
Yeah, paper towels and
It's not-
isopropanol
it's
will take it right off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it will come
not
off.
terrible
with
yet.
a bit of-
yeah.
yeah. But do it sooner
But
rather than
I
later.
went to dust it and things were sticking to it. I went, but that was the expensive one. So I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I need that.
There you go.
You should.
will say this.
You should.
I should
I don't think we have
get a
diggers.
commission from
Yeah.
diggers.
Yeah.
I will say this. It's not the stickiest of all stickiness ones that you get, but it is starting to go sticky.
not like the original.
That just sounds wrong.
Mini Brew was super sticky.
When it was
But what I was going to say
when it was COVID, right? I've got a few of these bottles lying around, and I've got a massive, big, huge container of isopropyl. It's not the same brand, and I just use them to refill. So these bottles are just kind of been refilled over the years. But anyway, when it was COVID, and you couldn't get hand sanitizer because they ran out of hand sanitizer, I went to the chemist and I bought a little bottle of little glycerine crystals, right? And I poured like a teaspoon into one of these bottles, and I put maybe, you can put some sort of fragrance in there, like tea tree oil or eucalyptus or peppermint or something. And I made a few of these, and you shake it up, and I left it in the car, and there was my hand sanitizer while there was no stock of hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
So
we did a bit of that at work.
Good stuff.
We used
I
to
just
do
use
it.
a straight
We
alcohol.
used
I
to
didn't
do
use
that
glycerin.
too.
What the glycerin does is it just makes it so that you don't get the dry hands.
You don't dry
because
out.
you'd get
Yeah, you don't
really
dry
dry
out.
hands otherwise. Yeah.
I just hate that feeling, and you're gonna go eat, and your hands are sticky.
Yeah.
And,
Same. Yeah. You have to put a very small amount. If you put too much, it's really yucky. Yeah.
It's like lotion.
There was this company in my city that were making this this alternative from alcohol, and it stunk. And all the shops had it. And I'm like going in there, and the guys at the counter at the door going, "You got to hand sanitize before you come in, mate." And I'm like, that with that skanky stinking, like you've just
Yeah, I hated that too. That was like, is this really better than what we were doing before?
it's like,
yeah.
quick, take me to somewhere where I can wash my hands. It was horrible. Anyway, we've completely gone on a little tangent. That's what we like to
It's kind of
do.
funny. The breweries
Good
around
run,
and
though.
stuff.
But
Breweries were making hand sanitizer when they couldn't make enough of it. So that was,
there's a brewery. There's a brewery, distillery here in Perth that was making hand sanitizer for us here. But I was just going to say, Rance, I got a suggestion for you. On your blog, you should have a page dedicated to the sticky synthesizer list. With a list
it's
of
a good
all
idea.
of the
That's a good
offenders
idea.
of sticky residue,
What
Yeah.
of yours
date
is
that they were discovered, when they expire.
Well, even not just synthesizers,
treat-
even like audio devices, like my H6 from Zoom. That's got the
anything
sticky
with
on
that
it.
rubbery,
H6.
plasticky, whatever it is.
really,
Yeah.
Oh, your consumer
I've got-
devices, yeah.
I've got H4, and that's a
grab
really old one. I think it's H4, and that's been fine. Actually, it's up here. Go on, get it.
Go on,
Everyone's going
let's
out
all
for
go
sticky
get our
stuff.
Zooms. Oh, I don't
Everyone,
know.
go get your sticky stuff. Look at this. Look at this. All right. I'll put it right near the mic so you can hear my fingers. Hear that stickiness?
Why?
It's got a heart.
I even found a USB stick that I had in a bag for a while. It was a rubber coating, and it's all sticky too. That
Look,
same
you can
damn
see all
rubber
the
coating.
dust that's collected on it. It's all sticky
Yeah.
now. It's horrible.
The sawdust test is probably the best test. Bit of sawdust
H2.
stays on.
It's a H2. H2 doesn't have the stickiness. I've got an extra case on it, but no stickiness on the H2.
I've got a H1
It
and
seems to
doesn't
have that
the
black
stickiness either.
rubbery feel. Those will get sticky. Those are all the sticky things.
Just sort of
Yeah.
synths.
Why did they do that though? Once one had gone, you'd have thought they'd gone, aha, let's nobody
They
use
never
this
tested
again.
it long enough to know it does
It's
that.
sticky web.
I had the what was the desk controller? The P1 was it? That had the stickiness.
It's same thing with the foam inside the Moog MG1, where it would like break down and just destroy the circuit board inside. They never planned it to last that long, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was, I say it was a bit of a shock, that, because it'd been fine like I say, since I bought it, and I just didn't even think about it. It was just in the car, and I thought, I know this will be great to use live. I'll map all this, and as I picked it up, I went, God, that can't be me, surely. And then that was it, sticky. I thought, Jesus.
Right,
Yeah,
now,
'cause you eat a lot of candy.
Should've got
You might
the
think
cheaper
it's your
version.
candy that you got on this stuff, right? So
I'm glad Manny's...
Yeah,
I'm glad
exactly. I
Manny's-
thought I'd been eating too many Parma violets.
Guys, I'm glad Manny's in the chat because during the week, Robbie put up on the ProSynth Network Facebook page a link to a video which is of the guys' chat about DX7 to Mod X, 40 years of FM synthesis from Yamaha. Robbie and Manny were the two presenters. And if you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. I'm going to put a link in the chat in just a sec, but I just want to... I'm not allowed to play it because it's a...
It's already open in one of my tabs.
it's
There
a...
you go.
You know, it's another Sound on Sound channel.
yeah, Manny's patches are phenomenal. It was such cool stuff.
But definitely check that out. You know, they go into all sorts of cool stuff in that. So I'm actually only just showing it because all I want to say to those two gentlemen is that was a superbly well done presentation, and I'm so glad that someone videoed it because we can't get across to the UK, and just like Andy in the US, he couldn't get across. So it's I know Manny, you went across, but and it was awesome that you did that. But it was just so nice I kind of felt like I was there, and mate, that was brilliant. Robbie, that was also brilliant from you. I love seeing all that sort of stuff, and in fact, it kind of nerded me out a little bit about FM during the week, and I really do love FM. If you guys have never known that, I do. I'm a massive FM fan. There's a great little project. This is kind of the segue why I showed that. There's a great little project that you can get now. Chris, we were talking earlier, right, before about DIY projects, but there's a great little project you can get, and I'm sure Robbie knows about it. But if you've got a Raspberry Pi, and this one is a Zero, and just want to show you how tiny these little things are, right? You don't have to use a Zero. You can use a Pi 1, Pi 2, Pi 3, Pi 4. I think the Pi 5s aren't quite available yet, but you can use any Raspberry Pi, and it's got mini Dext on it as a basically a project, and you can actually play DX7 voices on it. So what I might do is, as a segue to a future show, I'm going to build a couple of these and put mini Dext on it and show you guys what we can do. So there's a couple of projects I'm going to do. There's just a little standalone box that you can just have Dext on, and you just run it as a DX7, basically. Or you can actually do a eurorack module and have a DX7 voice in eurorack. Might do both. And then there's also the 8. You know how on Robbie and Manny's video they showed the TX816, right? Which you guys probably, I don't know where it is, somewhere in here.
8
there it is.
DX7.
8 DX7s. There's a great photo of it there. So this is a way. I mean, obviously you can't easily afford one of these. They're rare. They're expensive. They're still around. But this is a way you guys can actually make your own TX816 on a smell of an Ollie Rad budget. You can get yourself the mini Dext one, and you can get yourself like a Raspberry Pi Zero or a Raspberry Pi 4, and actually have the TX816. It is actually really, really cool. So we'll do that really, really soon, and maybe even get Robbie on the show and we can talk about it with him. He's going nuts in the chat right now. I know something. No. So
you can come in.
It's not
StreamYard,
modular.
Rob. Go on, Rob.
Well,
it
you
might
can
be.
I mean, I have to say,
I think he was watching the footy, wasn't he?
I thoroughly enjoyed Robbie and Manny's presentation. I really did. It was the only presentation I went to at Synthfest, actually. I'd missed the one on the theremin at the beginning, but I yet to watch the video.
Everyone's cool.
But it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, I am not Mr. FM by any stretch of the imagination, but it did make me want to buy something like an SY77 or 99. And I know we had a conversation over dinner with Manny about those, which, it was a fantastic presentation. It really was. So well done, guys.
Well done indeed. I forget the guy.
good stuff.
Floyd Steinberg is a guy that I know actually.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
had a few
he's
chats
good.
to him.
Yeah.
He's done a few videos on the mini Dext. So go check out his channel.
Cool.
But I will. So there's a few links I need to bring across for you guys. One is the link to that Synthfest presentation. Just give me a sec. I'll get it in the chat in a sec. And I'm also going to give you a link to the mini Dext project because I believe
I can put it
you
there if you
guys
want.
will want to go check that out. It's the GitHub page. Okay. Pro Bono PD is the guy. And this is the one I'll probably do first. The little box, right? You just get yourself a 2-line LCD display. All of this stuff is really, really cheap. If you've got Raspberry Pis lying around, this is extremely cheap
is
sort
that
of
one-
project.
Is that one a MIDI over USB?
That one's a MIDI over USB. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Gotcha.
You can actually use a Raspberry Pi MIDI shield, which I've got.
Shield,
There's actually one sitting over there. In fact, why don't we talk about that? Let me get these links up, and I'm going to actually take you guys over to the other side of the room because it's something that I've been promising to do. So let's do the links first. How do I get it? Actually, Andy, can I put
it
you
in
on?
there.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
I'll put you on link duty.
I'm just
right?
about there. I'm getting the link right now.
So that's github.com/pro bono PD/mini Dext. That's that one. And if you can also do the YouTube video for the Synthfest presentation, it's on Sound Magazine's YouTube channel, or someone who's got admin access. Oh, he's done that one. Cool, beautiful. Right, let's head on over to the corner, which is there. I want to show you guys something because this is nerdy stuff, but some of you guys are interested in what we were talking about during the week, during Discord for the last 2 weeks. We were talking about surface mount soldering, and people were scared of it, and all sorts of sort of really cool conversations were coming out during that. So I've got a little sort of workstation that's it over there on the other side. That's live. I can even head over. Look, that's live. Right? And in the corner, I've got you'll see that bright light with the camera sticking on top. That's my microscope camera, which you've seen me do lots of videos with. Name that synth with. But in there is a programmer right now. It's a USB programmer. It's a serial-based programmer, that you can use for various modules and stuff like that. And that's just showing one of the chips that are on it. So you can see the sort of clarity that it gets up. Now, the other cool thing about it is I can actually feed that video straight across here. Boom. And I can actually record it here as well. So whilst I'm sitting over there at that desk with the soldering iron and the camera, and that's a 24-inch monitor, by the way. Those monitors are dirt cheap. They're like £50, $90, $100 Australian, right? In the corner, I've got a voltage power supply that I can dial up certain voltages up to, I think it goes all the way up to 30 volts. I've got my 2-channel oscilloscope, which you guys have seen in plenty of my videos. And there's a couple of little Raspberry Pi projects sitting on the desk there right now. So that's my little sort of soldering corner. And also because I'm an old guy, I use that little magnifying light to actually look at stuff as well. My eyesight is nowhere near what it used to be when I was younger. I don't have the close work ability to look at things close up anymore with the naked eye, so I need visual help. But to be fair, like if you guys can imagine, right, sitting at that chair and soldering, it's actually really, really quite easy. Instead of you looking down and getting a sore neck, you're just looking straight ahead. And once you've
mastered the, you're talking about the hand-eye coordination, because it's a bit like looking. Once you get, it doesn't take that long to get it. Once you got it, your brain adjusts.
You just got to be able to see the screen in front of you. Never mind what the screen's seeing.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
It's a bit like using a reversing camera in a car. Takes a little while to get used to, but once you've got it, it's second nature.
The thing with me is, I mean, I moved that camera. It doesn't sit in the corner like that, and I'm not sort of reaching over and soldering. I bring that right in front of me, and that's where I do it. But that's not all I do over there. I don't just solder and stuff like that. I also do things like do my little Raspberry Pi projects and my Arduino projects. Things like these sort of things, which is this is a teensy thing that I've built as a kit from a guy called Hans Tech. Now this is actually a pocket operator MIDI controller, so you actually connect it up with your pocket operator.
Cute.
And it runs on a teensy. So the projects that I do are musical oriented, mostly. Not always. Sometimes I do video based stuff, but mostly it's music oriented. So like the teensy chip or the Arduino chip or the Raspberry Pi chip stuff, it's always to do with that. So this will be this little zero here. This will have mini dext on it. In fact, it actually already does. This will have mini dext on it in a little box, and I'll show that when that's up and running next show, I guess. I'm sure some of you guys are interested in this stuff. Heaps of people are swearing at me, and you guys have got questions and stuff like that. I thought I'd show you that anyway, because I know a lot of people were checking out that corner and wondering what's going on over there. So that's what happens over in that corner. When I built this I didn't build the room, but when I moved into this room, one of my requirements was that I wanted to have a place where I sat and do most of my work, which is where you see me now, right? Here. I'm sitting here. There's all computer screens in front of me. I've shown you guys this before. And then there's stations around this room, right? That I can just move my chair across and I can sit there. Like I can go and sit over there where you've got the 2600. I can sit over there where there's the MX1. There's a few synths, a few keyboard synths. And all of it's all plumbed in and all working. So that was it. And the other thing is I like to do my little projects, and that's what that desk is over there. The other cool thing too is it doubles up as a little second desk for one of the kids if they want to come in and do homework with dad. Because I've got their desks up in their bedrooms, but sometimes they want to ask me 50,000 questions about their homework, and I've got stuff to do here, so I can just spin my chair around and help them out and do stuff like that. So, and I mentioned to you guys before that this room is also the music room of the house, so they come in and the kids do their rehearsals in here. Yeah, flute. Daughter does flute and voice, and my younger son, does violin and piano. So I keep all that sort of stuff, in here, and I can tell them off if they're doing stuff wrong, or teach them about some music theory or whatever.
Do you make him play your DX7 Mark II for piano?
Yeah. My kid's got a Yamaha.
Play this one.
He's got a Yamaha as a keyboard, but it's one of those PSR type ones, and it's got speakers built into it. So he doesn't like wearing headphones. He likes the immediate sound feedback. So he'll get used to headphones eventually. Don't worry. So yeah, I thought that would be an interesting sort of little thing to show you guys this week. And it was kind of related to the DX7 topic, which we talked about with Manny and Robbie, because it was related to the mini Dext, and it becomes this DIY project. And I'm not going to profess that I'm any sort of major, electronic producer or anything like that. Like Chris is much more competent than I am at stuff, but there will be some little projects that I'm going to do here, and if you're wondering what they are, head on over during the week to the Discord channel on the server if you haven't already. We will be talking about them in Discord quite a lot, so it does tend to be. Oh yes, it kind of went across your belly. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the questions that were like being shouted at me before. The shaving brush. That's my little dust brush.
Everyone should have a shaving brush.
Yeah, Magoo mentioned the shaving brush. That's my dust brush. I use that brush down the bottom left-hand corner there to dust around things that you don't want any sort of... Because it's very soft. So if you've got some delicate electronics and it's got a bit of dust on it, you don't want to sort of, knock
It's also... I was going to say, it's also really good if you don't want to knock your settings.
Yeah. It's good for
I use it half the time like that. It's like awesome. Yeah.
The other one that I use is in the drawer here. It's just a paintbrush. It's a cheap, from your local shop paintbrush. One of these things.
Yeah, paintbrushes are good.
The paintbrush. So that's what that was. I did see some other comments. Kent saying you'd love the Voyetra one that I've got coming. Oh wow, he's going to work on a Voyetra. Wow. So Robbie, yep, you're more than welcome to come on and chat about the mini deck stuff. I might even see if we can get Floyd to come on as well, because I do know him. I've had a few decent chats with him over the years. He's a really nice guy. I met him not in person, but through the internet, through Woody, the Panayota Shack guy. So that was how I kind of... There was a whole bunch of people that we kind of met together through his channel. I wonder how Woody's gone.
Yeah, I've been watching Floyd's videos for years. He has good stuff on there.
So Kosh Dukai is saying install the Synthian OS if you're interested in... Yeah, so the thing about the Synthian thing is we've definitely had a chat about that over this show before. I kind of have really... I don't know why, but I've kind of stayed away from it because it's kind of commercial, but it's kind of not. I'm not really sure if I'm 100% on board with it, but I know there's a lot of people that really like it, so I'm not going to poo on it. If you like Synthian OS, then go for it. But yeah, I don't know why. I just haven't really sort of got into it. It's like an ecosystem, really, isn't it? Like you have to kind of work within that Synthian operating system ecosystem. Whereas the thing I liked about some of these other projects is that they're really like purely open source. So you could just tinker with it however you want. If you know how to program in C++, it's really easy. In some cases, it's just C, just procedural. So it's actually really simple. So yeah. By the way, I read an article today. The language of C is classified in the world as the most green programming language out of all of... There was something like 100 different programming languages, and they did this. It was probably someone's thesis to do a PhD, and it was probably like some bullshit. But anyway, what they did is they test. They looked at things like computational time, energy involved, complexity of the code, all sorts of all these things. And C was first. I forget what was second, and C++ was third. And it was it was basically most of the C languages. Yeah.
Wouldn't machine language be the most efficient though, even though it's hard to program?
I don't think that
used enough.
Yeah, I don't think that was on the list because it didn't classify
because it was not a language
as a upper level language.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I'm
One
doing
thing's for
something
sure.
small.
Whatever they use for programming, for doing all the Bitcoin calculations, like the blockchain stuff, that'll be the most intensive on carbon footprint, I'd say. Given that it's tying up everyone's servers out there. Not much room for cat videos anymore. Poor cat videos.
Yeah. Well, didn't Intel say they were going to make a
dedicated
Bitcoin?
Yeah. Instead
mining.
of, because everyone was using their GPUs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone's using their GPUs.
But now we have to have AI cat videos. So
Yeah.
Well, they know what we like, so they'll probably do a good job.
I've got Bitcoin, and I haven't touched it. I mined it years ago. Like years ago, I'm talking about sort of 2009. Would that be right? Yeah, I think it kind of would be around 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And I actually set up a graphics card blade that I put into a data center in a university that I was working at, and the guy that was in charge of the data center didn't really care. He just said, "Yeah, go for it, chuck it in." And I literally got free air conditioning and free power while this thing was chugging away for about 6 months and mining Bitcoin. And I kept the Bitcoin after that. And don't touch the Bitcoin. Yeah. Anyway, so
I knew someone who's living on Bitcoin for a while. She didn't have a job for many years, and she was just living off her Bitcoin cleverness, and I think it all dried up by now, but for many years she wasn't doing any work, just Bitcoin.
Well, the thing with me is the graphics card blade thing that I built. I've got some information about it sitting around here somewhere. It cost me, I don't know, $2,500 or something at the time to make this thing, and I don't know why I was stupidly into it, but and I remember thinking to myself, oh, this thing is just a complete waste of time and money, and it was lucky I didn't have to pay for power and internet connection. It was kind of all that part of it was free. Imagine if I had to pay for power. Anyway, so I ended up selling the blade thing to some other guy that was there, and I probably lost about $500 on it since I bought it brand new. And then I thought to myself, oh, I haven't even made any money. This Bitcoin's not even worth $500, That's how rubbish this thing was back then, right? So I literally just parked it and kept. Obviously, you keep the Bitcoin wallet or whatever you want to call it these days, and that still sits there. And obviously, it's worth a lot more than a couple of $100 that it was worth when I originally did it.
Yeah. I know someone at work who did the same. They got into it early and really didn't move it around much, and turns out good strategy.
Yeah, well, I forgot about it. Not like you've lost something and you couldn't find it. Forget about it. But I just literally forgot that I had it, and then I got this email that said, "Oh, you've got to change your password," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I forgot about that. And then I went in to check to see how much it was worth, and I went, "Oh, that's quite tidy."
Well, the bigger waste of time was all the NFT nonsense.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Bored Apes and all that stuff. Jesus.
When am I ordering my Maximus? Yeah.
yeah.
We're allowed to have investments. I mean, gosh, looking at
Fairlights.
investments.
That's an investment.
Yeah.
Synclavius, another investment.
I wonder if this is going to let me in to here. Oh no, I can't get into there. Can I? Have to log in. What I was going to do is I was going to show you guys some interesting stuff about. Some of you guys will probably know about YouTube, right? But how long have I been on YouTube for? What? It's probably getting close to 5 or 6 years, I guess. It's a long time. Actually, no, it'd be 8 years, wouldn't it? 2015, I think it was when I first started. Anyway, let's go into dashboard. I want to show you something. So this is kind of the back end of my YouTube channel. And if I go into, I won't show you how to get into the back end just yet, but I'm just going to go into one of my previous streams. So let's say the last stream, Synth Geekery 221, right? And if I click on the analytics on this sucker, right? Let's have a look at that. Here we go. Sharing the back end of my YouTube channel. Have a look at the revenue that I've made on one stream.
Yeah.
$1.74. Right?
Ooh.
You want to think about slave
You're
labor.
loaded.
Mate.
So imagine
I
if,
dream of earning that kind of money.
if you worked
Say.
if you worked at a cafe and you just did, how long's the video? 3 hours and 29 minutes, and you got $1.74 for it. So who do you think's winning in the battle of making content? Do you reckon it's Ranz or do you reckon it's YouTube?
I think
Definitely
you could
around
say it's YouTube.
174,
I'm just going to look at mine. I haven't looked at
That's
mine for a
what-
while.
I'll show you another one. I'll show you the one before. So 220. This is not.
That's why people
this
do
is not a
Patreon,
setup.
because YouTube doesn't really pay.
This is not a setup, right?
Yeah.
This is not. I just.
I've had 34 quid
So
in
there you
the
go.
last month.
There's one I've earned $7 on because it's a week older
Yeah.
for 3 hours and 27 minutes of work.
It's getting up there. It's getting up.
Mate, I'm rich. Look at that. Hey, isn't it incredible? So yeah,
You could almost buy an NFT now. So the
yeah. I might have to cash in my Bitcoin. Anyway, the reason why I'm showing that is because I think some people feel that we do these shows, right, and there's some sort of kickback we get. Like, do we get kickback from some sort of manufacturer? Nope. Do we get a kickback from YouTube? Nope. Do we get a kickback at all? No. We don't get a kickback at all. There's your answer. And every single person here,
But-
including me,
If Akai want to send me an NPC, like, I'll try it out live,
Yes.
feel free.
Yeah.
Good point.
actually, you'd
Me
be a
one
good
because
ambassador
I
for
wouldn't
one.
normally use one.
Building up the Maximus.
Hey, even a used one will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just in case people are wondering, there is the money that goes into this is purely voluntary. Everyone here, like Ian, Darren, Andy, Chris, everyone here, Steve, even, you know, they're all here at their own. That's their own personal time. So yeah, and I appreciate it.
How do I get my percentage of your £1.70 odd for the last?
Well,
don't
with
even
rounding,
know-
it'll come
I
down
don't-
to
the
exactly what
fees
you
of the
get.
bank transfer would like wipe out any.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll have to be careful because otherwise he's going to have less and less guests on. Because the more he guesses, the more he has to split it out. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I once got this royalty check from, I forget, somewhere in the US, and they sent this check and it was like 2 US cents. Literally 2 US cents as was a check. And I got it. It was only a few years ago. And I took it to the bank and I said to them, I want to deposit this. And the bank said, you can't. I went, why not? It's, well, for a start, it's in the foreign currency. You'll have to go and get it cashed and converted into Australian. And then by the time you do that, the exchange rate, it was just like a nightmare. So
and your time and all that stuff.
I just put it in a little frame
Yeah.
and chuck it on the
That's what I
wall.
was thinking. That's a
2
good
cents
one,
royalty
yeah.
check.
The one thing about YouTube is if you can get a viral video, and I'm not suggesting that anybody tries because I don't think you. I think
Thank you, David.
the
No
times
one-
that I've
no
had a
one-
viral
yeah.
video
It's never been. What you
is
expect.
it's really by
Yeah.
complete chance.
What's
But
a
I
viral
did a
video? Though? I
video
don't think
about-
I've ever had one.
A viral,
What-
well, a
what would
viral
that-
video is
what would it be,
I had
though?
one that's had 373,000 views.
That's pretty
It's been up
tidy.
for about.
100,000 in
2
1 week. I
years?
think it's the benchmark.
I mean, the most I got. Yeah, I had a one that
What's the
went
most I've had?
100,000 in 3 hours while lockdown was on. But that video, you can. I mean, these big YouTubers can earn good money because I'm happy to share that video earned £871 over.
Well, you're
2 or
beating
3
me.
years.
My
No.
largest video is 221,000 views. There you go.
Yeah,
96%
I think mine's
likes.
about 40.
I mean, and it wasn't. It was never. It was just I didn't.
Not
got a
40,000.
guitarist called Rob Chapman, you know, and he was.
Oh yeah, he's good.
There was a lot of trolling going on at the time. Yeah, and I did this video on it because I'd met the guy a couple of times, and we
He
were
used to do
obviously
the videos for
taking the
Entertainment.
retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, for a long time, but he did blow up. You know, in fact, it helped me get monetized because it blew up, and then I got monetized because the first 3 months I didn't earn anything off it. But so
Yeah.
it can happen, but
It can.
I mean, it's purely luck.
It won't happen with me.
If I got that, I'd blow
That's
up
the problem.
myself.
You got to get to the monetized state first, and then
You have, yeah. And the other one with the 100,000 in 3 hours was when I was doing these little short videos about theatre productions that were being online through lockdown. So I would do a little short 5-minute video saying it was going to happen next week or whatever. Well, one particular show in the UK, I think it was from the National Theatre, literally it got nothing the first week, you know, probably, I don't know, to a couple of hundred views. And then suddenly, about an hour before the show started, it started to go up in tens of thousands, you know. And a mate contacted and said, yeah, I've just seen that your videos, you know, I'm about to watch this thing and your video came up first. And that was purely, again, luck. You know?
The
And
algorithm.
once the thing had finished, it died off, obviously, big time.
Yeah. All right, moving off on a different tangent. I do want to give myself some shameless plugs because I can. I just thought during the week, I thought to myself, oh wow, I've actually got 4 albums out now. So that was the first one.
Buy his album.
Oh yeah, because Ian makes money.
And thank Steve. Can I just say to Steve? Sorry, go on, Rand.
That's
Sorry.
because he's showing in £1.74.
We'll talk about you in a sec, Ian. That's my first
Yeah,
one.
right.
Resolution. That was 2018. Then Link is my second one. I'm going to run out of hands in a minute. Then 2021, Significant Bit. You guys will probably remember that one, the cassette cover. And then,
We have the
and the latest one.
real McCoy.
So I thought I'd show you guys what this is kind of like a mock-up I've done. It's probably going to be what it will look like to some degree. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do the inner sleeve yet, but where's my over-the-head camera shot gone? So we are going to have that as
That's wicked.
the CD.
That was great.
And then I haven't worked out what I'm going to do on the inner sleeve yet because that's just like I've just done it on the printer. But that's what the back will look like.
Cool.
That barcode's wrong, by the way. I have to get that fixed because I haven't got that done yet. I'll talk to you about that later in. So
Yeah, sure.
So that's kind of what that one will look like. I know a lot of people kind of are weird by CDs. Like I showed a few older people and a few young people. Some of the young people were kind of, oh, that's really cool. And some of the older people were like, oh, what do you need that crap for anymore? It's like, it's like, just takes up
What we've seen,
space
we've
and-
done it.
Yet, what if you showed them an LP? Would they go,
Oh yeah,
Probably.
Brian.
bring with the LP?
Yeah, probably. But I mean, for me, like, I've only ever done 4 albums. I mean, some people have done 100 albums, 10 albums, whatever. But I don't know. I kind of felt a little bit sort of proud of myself that I've actually made 4 albums.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an achievement.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of want you guys, not you guys here, because I know you guys have been good, but you guys, then you watching people, if you have, and Steve, this is probably for you, mate, Teds. If you have never ever put tracks on record, do it, because I mean, when I made my first album, Resolutions, I honestly thought it was going to be like people were just going to laugh at me and go, "Ha, that's rubbish. You've got no musical ability at all." When I made it, I thought, actually now I don't even care if someone says that. I just made it purely self-indulgently. And yeah.
That's the process of creation sometimes.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep.
You actually get your own.
Oh, me and
reward
Steve are
just
going
out
to
of
collab
doing
on a
it.
track anyway. So
Yeah,
that was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And
yeah, but great.
if the Purple Lou gets anything to do with it, there'll be a remix of Steve's track as well. So
Ooh.
Yeah, bring
From
Island.
Sinner's Music, can I just thank all of those people that have paid it over the odds, and Steve included. And we did have a conversation at Synthfest, didn't we, Steve? Because people are, there's a base price to buy Ranzee's album, and people have been paying more than and we appreciate that. I haven't had the conversation with Ranzee yet about that, but that's that's what's been going on. So thank you to all of those people.
Kenty Poos.
And
You can
Kent,
just keep it.
who's just arrived, has bought it twice.
Okay.
Has he?
Wow.
Bless him.
He's a silly duffer. I'll give you that.
What an accident.
He got it because he's my one subscriber to Sinner's Music. He got it anyway, and then he bought it again.
Senility.
Bless him. Thank you, Kent.
Before I go to Kent, I just want to quickly, because I was just getting this lined up. This is mainly for Ian, and if you do want to support Ian and me at the same time, you can buy my album Gates from Bandcamp. We'll get the link into the chat in a sec. But don't forget, you can also go back into his whole how do I go back? Here we go. So you've got other albums down here. You can click on more releases, and it will take you through. So you can see Andy and Grace's album there, and even some of Ian's stuff.
Tony and Peresis, he's not part of the synth community, but he's an organist who's done a very good electronic ambient album.
Yeah. I've had to listen to some of the stuff. It's
in
pretty
fact,
good.
we're going to put his second album out as well.
Yeah.
So,
I liked a few tracks off that as well.
Yeah.
Just haven't got around to
that's where you can
ordering.
find some cool stuff. And I always say, like, if you listen to other people's music, it can also bring ideas to you. So even if you've got that sort of problem where you've got writer's block, that's always a good way to sort of get yourself out of it. But yeah, and so the question was, when are these going to become available? I need to have a chat to Ian first about how we're going to do the distribution, because there's a couple of options we've got. But we'll come back to you guys probably between now and the next show of how that will happen. And then
funny comment about that artist Yanni.
There'll probably be about a month leeway.
New Age artist Yanni.
Yeah.
He used to say he never listened to anyone else's music but his own.
what?
Well,
I thought that was pretty funny.
You hear that,
very
but then you
arrogant.
hear
That's really funny, yeah.
Who was the other one that said
Then you
that
hear
he never
influences
listened?
in his stuff, obviously.
Yeah, then you hear someone else saying that they've never listened to their own music.
Oh, I don't listen to my music all the time, but I do occasionally. I went back and listened to my Bristol 3 album. I thought, bloody hell, this is really good. I haven't listened to it for probably a couple of years, but but I quite like to go back and listen to some of the stuff. Yeah. And because then I have this thing where, how the hell did I make that? And I'd have to go and look up notes or look at the actual project. Try and remember how the hell I bloody did it.
Yeah. Now we're going to say good day to Kent, who's popped in. How are you, mate? You doing all right?
Yep.
Okay.
All doing well. Yeah. No. When I said I've got a Voltaire 1 coming, it's not a Voitra 8 or anything like that. What it is, it's a surface mount circuit board 3D printer.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Wow.
So, when you knock up a Gerber file for a board and you have to send it off to a board house.
Mm-hmm.
This is a complete tabletop board maker.
So we would call that in the industry, I think, a pick and place machine.
You have to do the picking and the placing, but it does.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Heat the components, so all the components.
Oh, yes. It's the oven part of it. Yeah,
it draws all the
hot
tracks
plate.
you need. Yeah.
Nice.
So
it does all the layering and everything.
Yeah. So
Nice.
if anybody needs a board knocked up for a project they're doing, you can always slip that on there.
Great.
Wow. That's good to know.
But I can see your mind going a million miles an hour, Kent. You're like thinking, what eurorack modules can I make for myself?
Well, the thing is,
Start with the mutable ones.
the reason this thing is coming because this is for doing the Yanaglyph prototype, and it's coming all the way from China. God help us. And yeah, and I must admit, it did cross my mind, especially when I saw that module that where you plug in your own, your own programs into it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I would have done that on a USB pen, though. But doing things like that, little projects like that as well, so it might come in handy.
Yeah.
No, who knows?
We
I
will
was
watch that with interest.
I was even going to ask. I forget who it is that most people use. I was looking at it during the week to produce circuit boards, PCBWay or those sort of people, right? But
DLC PCB.
Yeah,
I think Australia doesn't really have anyone.
Well, if you want to do one-off,
We do, but yeah.
that costs so much money to have a board house do for you. So that one board is going to cost you all the setting up fees that obviously would have been spaced out across 50 or 100 boards, and they prefer it. The larger the number, the better discount you get. If you only want one board done,
Yeah, you have to do a panel.
Yeah, and even then it comes to quite a bit of money because it's still the same amount of tooling and setting up. So that's where these Volterra board printers come into their own. There's an initial outlay. I think it's about. I can't remember. Is Fiona around? No, okay, about $5,000.
Just do single layer then, Ken? So does it do multi-layer stuff?
It will do. Well, it will do
Bottom top.
Layer. Yeah,
Right, bottom top.
You could, if you wanted, you can change the thickness of your PCB plate, and then you could probably glue and layer if you wanted. But that's a bit, not quite so desirable. So, but at least on a two-layer job, you can get away with it.
You can do quite a lot with 2-layer boards.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, because it can draw all these tracks out, and then it, like I say, does all the treating and makes the pads, you drill the wires, and the wires you put like these brass studs in with this little crimping tool.
For the vias.
Yeah, and you're laughing.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That's a cool little thing to get.
Yeah. So that could be quite useful. So, like I say, if anybody wants any boards made up, don't want to play a board house.
You might have gained a few new friends, Kent.
Yeah, because I mean, I know. So offer up that service basically to anybody because I know what it's like hitting up against that typical wall myself, And I know it's put a lot of people off doing certain projects, but they go, how much? No, I won't bother. Kind of thing. So, yeah. So there you go. Oh, I have to go now because apparently my food has arrived.
Okay. Well, it was lovely having a quick chat.
Thanks, Ken.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Ken.
Awesome.
Good to see you, man.
See ya, Ken.
Bye.
See ya. There we
That
go.
was cool.
And then you should automatically pop over, I think, Steve, once his things disappear. I might just move you over.
Before I forget, Rance, David rather generously donated some money to the channel way back, 11:15 p.m. Australian time.
I said thank you, David, at the time.
Did I? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't
he's a kick in the back. David's amazing. He's always been very benevolent to us. Thanks, David. I think I'm pretty sure I showed it as well, quickly. If I didn't, I meant to. I'm pretty sure I said it. David, did you hear me say that? I'm sorry if you didn't hear me.
This is
I'll
just
say it
me
again,
having a
'cause he
sneeze,
deserves
mate.
it.
David,
Yeah.
what you put through was $9.99, and it says, "Here's your kick in the back." Fantastic, mate. He's a good fella, David. Also, one of my channel members, and also big supporter. Been on here, shown his face on the show quite a few times. So it's people like David that make you do this show every week. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and buy his albums because his albums are good as well.
His albums are good, yeah. Yeah. So, Ian, what were you?
Yes,
you were
sir.
going to say something before I started ranting on about CDs, or did we
No,
already
I
cover
was
it?
just. Well, I was going to thank. I mean, I thanked everybody who I've paid over the odds, but Steve in particular. I won't embarrass him by saying how much he paid for your album, but he paid a lot more than he should have done, and we appreciate
Steve.
that, Steve. Yeah,
You're a good
so,
man.
but thank you, Steve. And thanks to everybody else who did the same.
Thank you
Quite
so
a few
much,
people
guys.
didn't just pay the £6; they paid more, and that's really, really kind of them. Very heartening.
So with the digital version, are they getting the 2 bonus tracks? Are you giving them the 2 bonus tracks?
They're getting the 2 tracks on the actual, because of the way that Bandcamp works, and I couldn't put your mega mix on Bandcamp because it was too big, and I didn't want to chop it up into 3. So what I've been doing is they get the 2 tracks when they buy the album, and then I email them a link which is just to download it from a Dropbox, and it's not Dropbox, but it's the Google equivalent of Dropbox, whatever it is.
Google Drive or whatever, yeah.
Google Drive. It's on a Google Drive where they can just download it from there.
Okay, cool.
No.
All right, awesome. So when okay, so this is one of the things I was going to talk about. So one of the bonus tracks, I'm pretty sure I can't remember if I've talked about this or not, but one of the bonus tracks,
the Utopia part.
Utopia.
3. Yeah, you did mention it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not everybody will have heard you because not everybody.
No.
So say again.
It was last week.
All right. So Utopia came out on this album, Link, right? So, by the way, Ian, I'm happy to move the other albums across too, if you want. Doesn't worry me.
No, we can talk. We can do, yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
So Utopia came out on the album Link, and then I started doing this weird thing where I thought I'll do a version of this track on each album I bring out. So Utopia Part 2 came out on Significant Bit, and Utopia Part 3 will be on the... I think there should be room to put it on the CD version. I think there's room. Anyway, so Utopia Part 4 is not far away from being finished.
Ooh.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a EP type thing.
Cool.
And what I thought I'd do is, so we're going to, obviously it will have Utopia Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I might invite some people in to do remixes.
Interesting.
To see
That's
what
a
happens.
good
with
idea.
it. So what we'll do is we'll set up anyone who's interested in doing remixes of Utopia. I'll provide you the stems of all the different tracks. I don't mean tracks as in Utopia Part 1 track. I mean like all the different tracks inside one of the
stems, yeah.
the stems. And so you'll have access to, basically the sample sounds. Now Darren has already done a remix of an unfinished bit of work that ended up being Gate 1 on this album, the current album. So he's done it before, and he did a really, really good job of it too. This was a couple of years ago now, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, it was. It would be. Yeah.
I think you called it.
Yeah, I did two lengths. I did what was it now? Because I did 2 length versions. I did like a sort of 12-inch, but it'd be on a 12-inch single. So it was about 8-9 minutes long, and then the shorter version. What was it? Because one was a short stay car part version.
Yeah.
The other one I think was a long stay car part version.
I think you called it Terminal or something.
Yes, Terminal 1.
Terminal 1.
Gate 1, Terminal 1, yeah.
Yep. So that was kind of like the early beginnings of, you know, my Gate 1 track that ended up going to Darren. He did a remix of it, and it's actually on your YouTube channel, isn't it? I believe should be on there.
Yeah, I think one of the versions. Yeah, I can't remember whether it's a short stay or the long stay. But yes, it's on there. Yeah, sure is. Yeah, yes, it is. It's probably about a year, maybe a year and a half back.
Yeah, so you'll probably hear some of those sounds that are in that Gate 1 track in his remix version because they actually didn't change. So I'm kind of thinking of doing something similar, and Darren's more than welcome to be part of this if he wants to, but I know he's busy, so it doesn't have to be Darren. But anyone who wants to be a remixer can jump in, and then they'll be part of the Utopia EP when it's finished, and you can have your track on there, and then we'll do a revenue share once we release it through Ian's label.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool.
What sort of deadline are you looking at actually having the remixes finished by? I'm only asking because I'm interested myself, but
yeah, we'll give people some time. I mean, how long do we need? Do we need a month, 2 months? What do we need? A week? I'm not sure. How long do people need?
A week. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I threw that one in.
Are we talking before this Christmas? Are we talking early next year?
Well, we can look at like releasing it early in the new year because I know there's a lot of things going on. Right. You've got your album coming out, Ian. You're moving house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grace is saying Andy.
So
Andy and herself want to be in for a remix. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is the way you'll be able to access the stems is I'll provide you guys with a Dropbox link, and you can go and download them, and just muck around with it yourself. You don't. The track doesn't even need to remotely sound like Utopia if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm up for this.
Yeah. So you can give it your style. You can give it your thing. And I think it's just a nice way of sort of collaborating with a whole bunch of people. I do have another idea where we could do an album where it's a compilation where we all do a track of our own, unrelated, and then we just all put a track on an album and then have a compilation, kind of like what Sonic State did. But I then thought about it. I thought I don't really just want to just do that because Sonic State have done it. I thought I'll do something a bit different and we'll do it this way. And then you can make it your own.
This is a nice way to do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you've got something.
Is Utopia 5 going to be an NFT?
Yeah.
Good one, Andy. So you've got at least
you can only buy it through
a framework.
You can only buy
it with Bitcoin. Yeah. So you've got a framework at least with this. It's not like you're completely starting from scratch. It's a bit of framework, and then I don't know. I've done remixes myself. And sometimes I find them really, really easy and they just come to me. And sometimes they are an absolute nightmare. And, you just give up type thing. So it doesn't matter. If you want to try and you don't succeed, that's cool. No one's going to be judged. So you guys can have a crack. And if it ends up being a fizzle,
this is almost it's almost like a remix comp in a way.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to have
it's
to.
Just that it's just that the people participating are a smaller subset.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have a limit to how many. I mean, because you've got to. It's got to be within 60 minutes of technically with music. So we can cook a CD from it and
you can set parameters, Rants.
Yeah,
you can set your mins and maxes.
But I'm not talking about one track. It's got to be within 60 minutes. I'm talking about the whole album with all the releases. So we probably don't want to have like 12-minute remixes, because that'll fill up pretty quick. So, but 3, 4, 5 minutes would be fine. That sort of stuff. Most of the Utopia tracks are. The first one's the longest, so most of them are under 5 minutes anyway. So it's not going to be hard. My tracks are usually 40 to 50 minutes.
Ooh, we'll have to work on that.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll post some information up on Discord. So once again, if you're not part of Discord, maybe it's time that you got Discord. jump on the Discord server. I'll also put a post up on ranzee.com as a post in the blog. So there'll be information about that and how to access the tracks. And then we'll just come up with some dates. And, you know, we've got to give people a cut-off date to have it ready by. Now, we're going to... So, Ian, I'll volunteer to do the mastering of them to make sure that they all fit within the loofs. Get the loofs right.
Minus 14 people.
Yeah. But if you guys could do your own mixing, that would be like save me, you know, time. But if you have trouble, if some of you have trouble mixing, you need me to help, I'm happy to sort of lend a few of your hand. But try and get the mixing done yourself and submit it, and then we can master it, and then Ian will have the final say about how it sounds, and then if it needs to come back to anyone to be tweaked or anything like that. Because when I did this album with Ian, I usually run a mastering report for myself, but I actually gave him a complete mastering report, which shows
it was great.
A visual of all the tracks, how many luffs, all, you know, everything, so that you kind of you know where each track's sitting, you know, because you're going to have dynamics, right, when you're doing an album. And sometimes if you want to do an album and you want it all to be within earshot of each other, it's quite difficult if you've been recording stuff at different periods of time, and even on different periods of equipment too. Like in my case, I had a studio move a couple of years ago, so I recorded some stuff on Presonus mixes and some stuff on the RME stuff here. So, you know, there's subtle differences when you do things like that. So yeah, if you want to need hand with mixing, things like that, and then we'll get it all compiled and we'll chuck it up on Bandcamp. People can go check it out like that, and we'll make a CD version, and then I think it'll be fun. The Utopia is a cool name because the theme, I guess, is that when you're listening to the track that you're going to create, your remix or your version of it, it's supposed to be a utopian sort of feeling with you. It's taking you to a utopian place. And you guys all know what that means. Like when you listen to music, some music gives you a utopian bliss, right? So think about what those things are and see if you can create within that. It's not a massive, you know, thing to ask, but that's the kind of thing you want to sort of, if you want to send a utopian message, or if you want to portray something that is, you feel like a utopian feeling that you can portray in music, you know, we can all use light and shade and speed and slow and, you know, all that sort of stuff.
So no death metal remixes, basically. So.
If you want to do a death metal remix, go for it. I actually don't mind.
If that's your,
I don't mind it. You know, hey,
I think I'll scream over the top of it. How's that?
I was listening to Master of Puppets the other day. I was thinking to myself, "Jeez, it's been a while since I listened to that CD."
Bit of Metallica.
Yep.
Love a bit of Metallica.
Yeah. If you're not into Discord, there'll be Half God, Half Beast. There'll be the blog page on my website. It'll come up within the next few days, so you can keep an eye out for that. And then we'll remind everyone about it next week. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Great fun. Look forward to that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm kind of trying to getting people to make music. You know.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know.
Good idea.
Okay, so I think we're pretty much done. Anyone want to make any announcements before we wrap up?
No. Actually, what I will do is I will thank Electronic Sound, because obviously you won't get this. You won't get Electronic Sound outside of the UK, but it's a magazine. Now they did this double CD of modular music called A Plan for Modular Living. Now I bought this, although I get the magazine. I bought the CD separately before I went to Edinburgh, and then completely forgot about it. and they sent me an email saying that they sent it to me in early August, and the CD never turned up. And I thought, oh well, I'll drop them an email anyway and say, look, it didn't turn up, but I'm happy to buy it again if it comes through. Anyway, very sweetly, they sent me the double CD again. The first one, God knows where it went. I'm sure the postman probably stole it, but and if you can still buy it, I think, from their website, and it's bloody good. It's got some really, really good people on it, and it's all modular music.
Yay.
Not that I'm going to start making Eurorack, but no, it's really good.
There'll be a huge Eurorack
Thank you,
behind you.
Electronic Sound. Sorry.
I might sneaky send
What was that?
There'll be a huge Eurorack behind you.
Oh,
I said there'll be a huge.
That'll be
that's how it
rack
starts. You
behind
get a
you.
module, and then you need a power supply, and then you need a case. And
even
before
new
you know it,
studio, won't it? Yeah, of course it will. Yeah.
You remember how I was telling you guys about how at the moment, because I haven't finished making my case that I was supposed to build 2 years ago, and then I'm pulling modules out and I'm leaving them sitting on desks, and they were getting. And I think I showed you guys at one stage there was a pile of them sitting somewhere. Yeah. Well, I sat down one day during the last week, and I thought I'm going to tidy this stuff up because it was doing my head in. So I've made like 3 drawers here. I've put all the module boxes back, and I've literally any module that's been sitting out flapping around in the breeze out here, I've put back into the box, and they're all in kind of some sort of logical order now. So System 100, 2500s, and certain things. So these are just those IKEA drawers that you get, right? And so now if I want to get a module, I just go straight to the drawer here, and I just pull the drawer open. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but you may be able to
see the top of the drawer.
To see the edge of it.
You guys can see there's a whole bunch of boxes there, right? So I literally just pull the box up, and the module's in there, right? Yeah. That one's empty. Look at that. It's empty. That one's already in. But that one's a System 100 module, which is the envelope LFO. Yeah, it's sitting over there. So if I pull that module out, I'll chuck it straight in the box. And they don't actually the boxes actually don't take up a lot of space. Some of them do. In the case where some of them do, like there was a few modules that I've got over the years that were a bit greedy with boxes, and like that was a massive box like this and the module was like that. And I thought, this is stupid. I've just made my own little box for it and written on there what it is, just so I didn't take up too much drawer real estate. But I'm actually really digging this idea. It's like, I know eventually these modules will all go back out into my big case when I make it. But for now, it's actually really cool because I'm kind of cool with pulling stuff away and bringing it back out again. And I kind of feel like it's a lot safer than sitting out there getting dust on it. So if anyone thought that was a nice idea, I'm happy to I'll take some photos of the drawers and just show you what it looks like. Yeah. It's literally just one of those IKEA drawers that fit under the standard whatever you call them, desks. They're like these desks. You've seen these desks everywhere, all over the world. IKEA. There's the chest of drawers that fit underneath that. I think there's a name for it. And they're really deep. Yeah. The drawers are like really, really deep drawers. So they go all the way back to the back of the desk, basically. So you can fit heaps of stuff like all the way underneath and pull them all the way out. And yeah, it's quite cool. Finally, I'm tidy. And I also tidied up the floor too.
They're good. See the carpet, I mean, I've just sold a couple of those desks because I had them in our office, and because obviously we started to declutter our office and get rid of stuff, I've actually sold 2 of those desks recently. I was going to give them away if nobody wanted to buy them, but I sold them for 25 quid each. So, but they are good. I mean, I first bought 2 and had them in our original studio. And they're not that expensive as desks.
No, they're so cheap.
They are quite nice and deep.
It's just the tops don't last. The tops get all scuffed.
Mine started to bow slightly.
Yeah. But I mean, you can just pop the legs off and just buy another top. But in Australia, we can't get these corner ones. This is a corner one here, We can't get the corner ones anymore. You can only get the rectangular ones now. So I need a new corner one because the top of this corner one it's so scratched up now. It's a white one, and it's not white anymore. It's ugly. So I've got like mats all over it, like those huge mouse mats that you can buy. That's just covering all the
anti-static
scratches.
mats.
Yeah. I'll put some photos up on Discord during the week. You guys can have a look at the module drawer. Any questions about the soldering station there? Because I know there was a few people that were kind of worried about it, about doing SMC electronics. It's really, even with me with my bad eyesight, shaky hands, if I'm able to do it, I'm 52 years old. If I'm able to do it, you guys can do it. Trust me, it's not that hard to do. So,
I'm just glad you have some room in your drawers, Ranzee. So,
well, not these drawers.
Not every drawer.
Yeah. I haven't heard that term for a while, drawers.
No,
Drawers.
your drawers, your breeches.
old fashioned.
Breeches,
Is that an American term, drawers? Or is that a British term?
Drawers, trousers, whatever.
I would say it's British.
Breeches.
I don't think we use that term here, do we?
1950s.
I mean, it came from there first, right? We've only been here for a few hundred years.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we have, Chris? We have budgie smugglers. Have you guys heard of budgie smugglers?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Dax.
Dax.
We have Dax.
Yeah. Dax.
Strides.
I don't know what that is.
Dax are pants, basically. Chuck your Dax on. So you have two types of Dax. You've got normal Dax, and then you've got tracky Dax.
Tracky Dax.
It's like a different language.
Tracky Dax are sweatpants in the US. Same thing, right? But we call them tracksuit pants or tracky Dax to shorten it. Yeah. I should do some more Australian words.
We've got skivvies for underwear. That's a bit of a colloquialism.
We could have a segment on the show.
Yeah.
This week on Ranzee's Ocker. Today's word is... such and such.
Colloquialism from Australia. You guys will not be any wiser from it, trust me. All you have to do is just watch the cricket at the moment in the World Cup, and you can pick up heaps of it. Seriously. Now, let me find out what the score was, because there was a few games going on at the moment. Let me just quickly give you guys a Premier League update. It looks like... Hang on a minute, where's that gone? Ooh, okay.
Anybody else here follow football?
Liverpool beat Everton on the Merseyside derby. There you go, I said derby. Bournemouth beat the Wolves. Man City beat Brighton. Oh, it's still live? Is it still live? Okay, so sorry, the Wolves game is the score has now gone to 2-1. Okay, so that's still live. Man City and Brighton still live, 2-1. Newcastle versus Crystal Palace still live, 4 for Newcastle, 0 for Crystal Palace. Nottingham with Luton is drawing at 2-2 at the moment, still live. And Brentford versus Burnley, 3-0, still live. There you go.
Robbie's just said that Bobby Charlton's just passed away. That's sad.
That's sad to hear. Yeah.
When I was a boy, I used to support Leeds United, and Jack Charlton played for Leeds United. His brother. And he was always Manchester United. He was Bobby, wasn't he?
Who's the new ones in the Premier League this year? Luton, right, is one.
Oh, no.
And I thought Brentford? No. Brentford were there last year, weren't they? I can't remember. I always forget where's Bournemouth. I said that on purpose.
Yeah. It's Bournemouth.
I know. I said it on purpose.
I knew you knew that. Used to be a good music shop in Bournemouth. I bought my first Korg DW6000 from a shop in Bournemouth.
I know why I'm getting thrown, because Leeds aren't in the Premier League. They're in the seconds now, aren't they?
No, they're not. No.
I was a bit sad about that.
So you say Bournemouth, but then for Melbourne, you say Melbourne, right?
Well, okay, so Melbourne is how I say it, but if you're from Victoria, you'd probably say almost Melbourne. It's almost Melbourne, but it's not
Oh, really?
quite
Oh,
as
right.
owl. It's more like Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of it's like semi-E and R and an A sound all in one. It's really frustrating when you hear them talk.
Well, actually, I mean, Yorkshire alone has got different dialects within one county.
Oh yeah,
So
Yeah.
South Yorkshire is different to North Yorkshire. It's different to over the whole way. It's all slightly different. And so
it's
it'd be the same in Australia.
what's the
They have
second?
different dialects.
What's the second's called? It's not, Premier League's called Premier League. What's the second comp called?
League One.
The
League
first
One.
division, isn't it? Yeah, League One.
League One.
Yeah,
That's it.
that'd be
That's
right.
what I
Yeah,
wanted to know.
Grace, that's right. I hope Chuck.
Maybe right. Right.
Oh, really?
Championship. No, Steve Elbow's. I mean, that just shows you. When the Premiership, because Premiership used to be League One, and it was very easy because we had rated 1 to 4. didn't we?
Championship. Yeah, I was
It
going to
was
say
very
those
simple.
teams look like they're not.
Then we've got Premiership, and now we've got Championship, and then is it League One and League Two? I don't know.
Yeah. There you go.
And then
Championship.
Conference League, and I mean York are way down in something weird like
Yeah. This is the right one.
I don't know,
These
the Milk League or something.
because you've
I
got
don't know.
Leicester and you've got yeah. Okay, cool.
League One is really League Three, exactly, Steve. It is.
So Norwich is currently 1 goal behind Leeds, and you're in injury / overtime now. Ooh, score a goal, Robbie! Score a goal. There you go. Live score updates. Hey, how cool was that?
Yeah,
Never done that before.
it's not just
See,
about
you don't get that
synthesizers, is it?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
and
We've had language, we've had football. We haven't talked about the rugby because England are going to win today, but we won't talk about that. That's tonight.
race 1 results for Formula 1. I can tell you if you want.
Oh, go on then.
That's the sprint race, though.
Oh, is it?
Sprint
yeah,
race.
'cause
Sprint
it-
race.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is going to be literally 3 hours time. You've got starting grid with Leclerc,
Oh, Daniel's 15th. I think that much.
Lando Norris is in second position,
Yeah.
and Lewis Hamilton
good on him.
third. So where's our Aussie bloke? Piastri.
15th.
He's down at the bottom.
He's down in
He went out.
15th. I think.
Oh no, you're talking about Ricardo. Ricardo's down at the bottom.
Oh, you mean?
Oh, you mean
Piastri.
Piastri.
Piastri, yeah.
Yeah, he's
he's,
10th.
he's down as well.
Yeah.
He's a McLaren driver.
Yeah.
Make-
Waggo's not.
Yeah.
Turn the sound off, Waggo. You're all right. So you don't have to hear.
There's no results.
It's all right.
No results. This is the starting grid. It
It's
doesn't
not-
start till 3 a.m.
Yeah. Doesn't
Nice one,
start
yeah.
till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's America.
which is I don't know, what is it? What is it there? 5?
11 o'clock.
6?
That's not, 11.
What is it there?
Yeah, I haven't been watching it for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
It's
Because
5
all on
now.
Sky,
Here,
we don't have
I
Sky.
think it starts. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I
I
only
think
watched the highlights, and that's ridiculous times.
With that,
it's Austin, isn't it?
yeah, it's in Austin, Texas. With that
Yeah.
race, they were saying that they moved this white line closer in or further out. I don't know, whatever it is, right?
Track
But
limits.
what it meant
Austin
is
would be
the
7 a.m.
crowd,
right now.
the crowd was actually technically closer
Oh.
to the cars, and they were making
Wow.
this rule where
Sorry,
if
11 a.m.
if you clipped the white line, right? If you clipped the white line, you would lose.
Yeah.
You know,
You lose
you
your
get a time
lap
penalty
time.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose your lap.
It's
But
fair-
what
it
happens
says
during the
I've-
race?
You get
well,
4 warnings or something, or 3 warnings, and then
Oh,
you start
okay.
getting
So
start
that's
getting
new.
penalties.
Yeah, you get a 5-second penalty or something
Yeah.
like that.
5-second penalty. Yeah.
I went to
Yeah.
the Nürburgring track a few years ago.
Germany.
It's a really exciting day out. Is Formula One, because obviously the other races that are on, and actually just going. I think we went for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 days. And there was something on every day, and it's a really, really good trip. No,
Steve wants us to
Really
add
enjoyed
knitting.
it. Knitting.
Hadn't it?
I don't know, Steve.
Knitting?
I don't know, mate.
I can sell it some
Olympic
knitting
sport.
I think you
needles
have to
if you
draw the
want.
line somewhere. I mean, it's pretty
What's
violent,
wrong
that
with- hey,
sport.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the
Pricking
best
yourself
gigs
with
I
a
went to
needle
this
and-
year was the lady that crocheted. And I'm not joking. There was these two guys with modular playing, which music was okay, but it wasn't.
Someone was
quite
crocheting.
uninspiring. But this woman who crocheted, and then she had these balls of crochet wool, and it was performance art. She was amazing. She's Lithuanian, based in Newcastle, and she was brilliant. So crochet music.
I've seen a few. I've seen a few. Objects made out of knitwear. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's done like an ARP 2600 in knitwear.
That would be good.
That.
I mean, I live in a town where at Christmas they will put crocheted and knitting around the lampposts and things like that. So
well, they did it at my daughter's school for some I don't know something. Like it was all like this different blue and different shades of blue crocheted with some words on it, and they wrapped it around a tree. And you literally, when you're dropping your kid off every day, you're driving past this tree with the crochet around it. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, Steve Chris said he was joking. I'm saying I'm not joking.
Yeah,
right.
Have
Now,
Steve,
onto the
this is
shipping
serious.
Yeah.
So maybe we could get like
you don't get synth shows like that, do you? From
You
live
don't, do you?
to album
We don't find this on PSN, Robbie.
to crocheting.
The knitwear.
to live scores for the Premier League and championships.
Crocheting.
Yeah.
All right, lads. It's pumpkin time for me and Chris. Actually, I have no idea if Chris turns into a pumpkin because he lives in a different place. Anyway.
Yes. You have no idea what happens.
Once the cameras
put
go
it this
off.
way, put it this way, don't feed me after midnight.
Nice little gremlins. Wagoo's going to cook a pumpkin soon. Nice. I don't mind me a bit of pumpkin soup. I'm partial to that. As long as you got a little bit of carrot and a bit of sweet potato in there. There's another name for sweet potato in other parts of the world, but we call it sweet potato here. It's like that orange coloured, long sort of
sweet potato, French fries.
Yeah, but some Japanese restaurants have a chunk of cooked pumpkin
Courgettes?
alongside the food. That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bit of garlic, bit of onion, and then blend it all up.
see, we got cookery now.
Yep. Blend it all up. Yeah. Anyway, on that huge disappointment, we should.
What, crochet? Who doesn't want to talk about crochet? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I did tell you guys we were going to talk about anything this week, so we did.
Exactly.
I think we.
If I can find some footage of this crochet woman, we'll have it for next week.
Post it. Yeah,
Beautiful.
put it on Discord.
Yeah.
At least.
She was
All right.
amazing. She was
roll
really
the credits.
amazing.
Here we go. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See you,
Bye,
everyone.
buddy.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. I'll have a good one.
Bye.